ESPN 710, Los Angeles Sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason in Ireland is on for your Friday afternoon.
So I discovered a new ChatGPT feature.
Here we go, Friday and F-It Friday, a feel-good Friday. And how is Steve Mason not here to cry for the next 3 hours that this morning, number 99, Aaron Donald, announced his retirement on social media? Say it isn't so, Mace.
Hi, this is Aaron Donald. It's Mason in Ireland, the #1 sports show in L.A.
We will discuss ... Lakers will be back on the court tomorrow night. Johnny I will break it down. Plus, Momo's here in for Mace. And don't forget, on this Friday, we've got your chance to see Yachtly Crew Friday, March 29th at the Whiskey for 710 ESPN night. So keep listening for the cue to call for your chance to win tickets and see Mace in a captain's hat that night. Yes, and I think Juan, too, by the way. Let's get to it. Celebrating their 20th year on ESPN Los Angeles, the biggest show on the radio, Mason in Ireland, with Momo this Friday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, and with an accent, Momo. Very strong.
I've been sticking with that lately.
I haven't seen you in forever.
I know. It's been a minute. I've been with Mace a lot.
Yeah, but because I've been back
you're
east,
gone.
and we're going back east again in a couple of weeks. So I had this whole show set up to talk to you about Lakers and NBA and all this stuff, and then we get the news right before the show starts that Travis and Slee was started that Aaron Donald is retiring after 10 years, and it's surprising because of how much money he makes and how good he is. He's retiring at the top of his game. But I actually don't blame him. Yeah. I think that if I was a football player, I've seen so many football players that don't have a good quality of life as they're older. And a lot of them, Marcellus, I've talked to Marcellus about this so much. We're going to talk to Kirk Morrison here in about 10 minutes. Ramona, their quality of life, especially guys who played on the interior line, offensive line and defensive linemen. Marcellus told me once point blank, he goes, I'm pretty sure I have CTE.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be a part of my life when I get older. I'm fine now, but I'm not. Our buddy Billy Ray Smith, who Cap did a show with for 20 years, I used to do a show with on the weekends, is starting to show signs of that as he's been away from the game. Great guy. So I don't blame Aaron Donald, and part of me is kind of happy for him.
I mean, I always think it's hard because once you're in that life, like the NBA life, you're in it. Like you're traveling, you're on the team playing, you're city to city.
There's nothing, you can't get there's not a comparable high to it.
I used to say this to my mom when I was, I don't know, sophomore year. I was like, we had my freshman year I played all the time. Sophomore year, we got this big recruiting class, one of which was Jessica Mendoza.
Right,
okay?
Who turned out to be unbelievable.
Olympic star, everything. And I went from starting every game in right field to like the 6 out of 6 outfielders.
Right.
And so the first, I don't know, half the season or so, I was like pinch runner girl. And it wasn't until Mendoza got mono that I had to go, that I played outfield.
Right.
Like they would go, okay, you're outfield and she'll
So your
hit.
circumstances changed drastically.
And it was like, it was so hard being on the team but not playing. And I remember thinking like, at that time I wasn't on scholarship. I was just financial aid or whatever. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm like putting all this time and energy into preparing for this, and I'm part of the team, but I'm not playing, and all I do is like pinch run once a game sometimes.
Right.
And I was like, my mom was like, you don't have to play. You can go just be a regular student. I was like, there's no way that I can't play. Because there's nothing in your life that gives you as big of a high as you get being at this level, being at the highest level. And so I always think about that when an athlete retires, like whether they choose to retire or whether it's forced upon them, right? Like you just retire because nobody wants you anymore. There's nothing you can do in your life that will give you as big of a high as you get being a dominant player like Aaron Donald, being on the team, working every day to a common goal. Like, I remember when Kobe retired, he'd spent 2 or 3 years sort of charting that exit ramp, right? And what am I going to do after? And he threw himself full force into being a producer and a creative and writing books. And I remember he told me he went to church the next morning at 7:30 after his last game, and then he worked out because you have that life, everything, the regimen, the camaraderie, the structure, the discipline. Like, it's just so hard to just walk away from that.
And he's going to now, and it leaves the Rams a tremendous hole. But you talk about a guy who, I mean, he deserves to go out any way he wants. There's nobody statistically that really compares to him other than, Travis was talking about this, Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White. Yeah. He was 8-time All-Pro. I mean, he was all 10 years. He was in the Pro Bowl. He was 8-time Pro Bowler, and all 10 years he was All-Pro.
Do you feel like
3-time Defensive Player of the Year?
Did we get to know him, Aaron Donald? Like,
he came in the show. He didn't love doing media, but here's the one thing I'll say about him. I had a relationship with Wade Phillips, who was the
defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and Wade. My second stop in TV was in Beaumont, Texas, and Wade is from a town called Nederland, which is 5 minutes outside of Beaumont. And so I've known him for a long time. Yeah. And I would, he's a football lifer. His dad, Bum, was the coach of the Oilers. And so I asked Wade, I said, you've seen almost every great defensive, you used to have to scheme against Lawrence Taylor. You've had to scheme against Reggie White. Yeah. Where does Aaron Donald rank? And Wade was not prone to hyperbole. And he just said, as good as anybody I've ever seen.
Wow.
He's that good. He's in that class with those guys you're talking about. And Lawrence Taylor is universally considered the greatest defensive player ever to play the game. And for people to say that Aaron Donald is in that conversation tells you everything you need to know.
And the thing about, but I feel like with Lawrence Taylor, he was more of a personality, right? Like he had the earring and he was on TV a little bit more. He had a little. Aaron did a few commercials. I feel like he's more of a private guy, and that's maybe why I don't feel like I got to know him. I mean, I didn't cover the Rams the way you guys do.
Yeah.
And but I feel like anybody who makes a decision like that, I admire because it shows me they have balance in their life, that what they're walking away from, they feel like they're walking into something else, and they have enough in their life to keep them happy and healthy and whatever it is, like balanced and motivated. Like he didn't give this up lightly.
That's weird. Like Greg, I think our show is, I'll probably walk away a little too soon. I sense Greg will walk away when it's just right. I mean, you have a very good life balance when Riley is,
when she's comfortable, she's happy, healthy.
Yeah, then you can relax a little bit.
Yep.
Mace is gonna hang on to the rope way too long.
As long as
he'll die on the job because it's his idea. No, he would say his joke is they will have to pry this microphone from my cold dead fingers.
He's gonna be 95.
Yeah, he will. He'll be doing either a show or podcast. And here's Brian Cranston to get him some Sanka. Yeah. He will. Mason will die on the job. Aaron Donald
will still be playing.
Aaron Donald is going a little sooner than he needs to. Yeah. And you're right. That's admirable.
It's admirable because it shows me. Like I had this a couple times in my life, right? When I stopped playing softball, it was a big, it's sort of forced upon you. There's no more place to play. You're done. It's your senior year. You're done. And I wasn't really ready, but I knew it was coming. Like you saw the end,
right?
And you had to like prepare yourself for it.
And it's a little different for you because it's not like there is a professional softball league that you could escalate to.
Theoretically, I could have gone and played to Europe or something, but like that's not the same as playing in the best college softball conference in the country. Like there's no comp. Plus, I felt like I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at the time.
By the way, nobody does.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
Some people, especially at Stanford, they're like, they have the next 17 years and every single day mapped out and whatever. But like even those people, they get off the hamster wheel at some point and realize like, oh, I better figure out my life. And for me, I just kind of like jumped into the great wide open and flailed for a while. And it took
everybody does that too.
Yeah, flailed for a while. And I remember my friend saying like, you can't steer a boat if it's not moving. And that was this really good advice that I always give college kids too. Like, you won't know what you're doing. You're going to flail, whatever. But like Aaron Donald, I assume he knows what he's walking away from, and I assume he knows what he's walking into.
And what I love about his story, 3-star recruit coming out of high school.
Yeah.
And then he gets to Pittsburgh, and he's just way better than anybody thought he would be. And then he has this unbelievable NFL career. So good for him. We're going to talk to Kirk Morrison next, who had to play against him. Kirk was a defensive player.
Oh, and they found my Postmates.
Oh, yes, Cody Lou is he gets the Indiana
I
Jones
was going
Award.
to every building. I was like, did somebody leave a Postmates for Ramona? No. Okay.
All right, so good. Now you're going to get food.
Okay.
Hey, I want to talk about ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, you got to use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find qualified candidates for all your roles fast. Ian Siegel, the guy who invented ZipRecruiter, puts it this way. They don't leave anything to chance. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter uses powerful matching technology to quickly find and send you the most qualified people for your roles. How quick? 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. So speed up your hiring process with ZipRecruiter. Go to that website. Try it today for free. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Mace is out, so he's not here to talk about AD number 99 retiring. Meanwhile, you know where he will be, though. Coming up this Thursday in the city of Manhattan Beach, very close to the Johnny I compound. The entire radio station for Madness Thursday is broadcasting live from the Islands there in Manhattan Village, the shopping mall. Islands Restaurant, Island Boy, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come on out. Party with us, watch hoops, and see Mason and Ireland in person. That's Thursday at the Islands Restaurant. Islands, your local paradise in Manhattan Beach. We'll see you there right now. More of Ireland and Momo, your Friday afternoon on 710.
There's a little yacht rock for you. And John Shea from Huntington Beach just won a pair of tickets to see the Titans of Soft Rock Yachtly Crew. Just listen for Morales to give you the cue to call, and when you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you win a pair of tickets to 710 ESPN Night at the Whiskey in Hollywood on Friday, March 29th. Mason, Cappy, Morales, all there to watch Yachtly Crew. You can get your tickets now and join the fun. All right, Greg, do we have Kirk?
Yes, we do.
He's ready.
Okay. Kirk Morrison joining us now. Kirk played in the NFL. Kirk, I'm trying to remember, did you ever play in the same game as Aaron Donald, or did he come after you got out?
No, he came after I got out, but it's kind of our correlation is different, is that the year prior I retired, John, and then after that I went into broadcasting. And so my first ever game being a broadcaster was NFL on Fox. Dick Stockton was my play-by-play. I was the color analyst. And it was Aaron Donald's first game as a St. Louis Ram and going up against the Minnesota Vikings at the Edward Jones Dome. And I will tell you this, I went to practice, John, 2 days prior to the game. And I'll always remember I get to practice. I meet with Jeff Fisher. I meet with Les Snead. And as we get done with the meeting, practice was maybe about 2 hours away. And yet there was a guy out there on the field going through pass rush moves, defensive moves. I'm like, Coach, what time is practice? If practice is not until 1, well, I said, well, who's that guy out there going through a full-on workout? And that was their rookie first-round pick, Aaron Donald out of Pitt. And from that day on, I just kind of knew. I'm not surprised at his career, but you just knew from seeing him that day, 2 hours before practice with Robert Quinn and Chris Long on the team. This young rookie was trying to break the starting roster. He didn't start the first couple games, but, man, look at the career that he had.
Where do you think that drive came from? Like, you know him better than I do, so I don't that has to come from somewhere, whether it's a chip
Kirk,
on your shoulder or what.
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that he wasn't I think he was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, right? Mm-hmm. This wasn't a guy that got ID'd when he was 14 years old as a future NFL star, right?
Yeah, that work all came from home, came from Pops, came from his family, came from Pittsburgh, Pitt Tough. That's kind of who they are. And Aaron Donald exemplified that. I mean, just watching him throughout his collegiate career to his NFL career, he's never changed. I would tell you this, the same guy that I just talked about, I saw him in 2014 take the practice field. I'm in Irvine last year for training camp, and practice doesn't start right around, 2, 3 o'clock, John, you would say, Romo?
Sure.
And Aaron Donald's out there 2 hours before practice again.
Yeah, he's Kobe. That's what Kobe used to do.
He was always out there. And so when all of a sudden you see the results that come on Sunday, you're not surprised because he's put in the work, tireless, showed so many guys how to work. And that's the reason why you're never surprised when you see all the accolades that Aaron Donald gets.
We're talking to Kirk Morrison, played in the NFL for a long time. Of course, Kirk's part of our broadcast team and broadcasts both on radio and television, college, pro football, and Kirk's been around the game his whole life. Kirk, you're uniquely qualified to answer this question. Why is Aaron Donald one of the 3 or 4 best players ever? For example, Lawrence Taylor was really fast. Nobody could block him. Reggie White was really strong. You couldn't move him. What made Aaron Donald the great player that he was?
John, it was crazy to think that it was a negative for Aaron Donald, a negative that he was 6'1". And people say he was undersized. But if you think about this, and I would talk about this with DeMarco Farr as well, DeMarco, we would always talk about, it actually was a perfect height for Aaron Donald. You know why it was a perfect height? because offensive linemen had to come down to him.
Yeah.
Like usually they were going against guys who 6'4", 6'5", right? And they they're kind of an equal length, but Aaron Donald played with such great leverage as an undersized sort of defensive lineman, but he was stronger than every offensive lineman, every defensive lineman. Then the speed, the agility, his footwork is one in which a lot of defensive linemen mimic now. I mean, watching Aaron Donald on a foot ladder drill is like poetry in motion. He truly was a dancing bear, but he also had the strength of that dancing bear, and he showed that you're not undersized at 6'1". He was actually a prototype that you just won't ever see. You don't see guys that size, that lean, that strength, that agility. He's second to none. I say this. He's the greatest Ram in Ram history.
Wow.
When you talk about a guy who went 10 for 10, he was in the league 10 years. He made 10 Pro Bowls. He's a three-time Defensive Player of the Year. You tell me another Los Angeles Ram, St. Louis Ram, it doesn't matter. Aaron Donald is the greatest Ram of all time with the record, the resume that he presents. He walks into Canton in 2029, so let's make sure we get our tickets ready for Canton because he's going in first ballot, he and Jason Kelsey.
What's he going to do now? Like, you don't walk away and retire without having an idea. Like, I don't know his off the field life or whatever it is, but what does he walk into?
Momo, remember he had this conversation 2 years ago after the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he was already contemplating retirement. He came out, he said, look, I'm going to come back. They got the new contract. And the Rams had such a poor year in 2022. And he didn't want his career to go out that way. I think to answer your question, Momo, he found so much joy in bringing along the younger players, the 14 draft picks the Rams had last year. And there was a point last year, Ramona, that I saw Aaron Donald. He ran off the field with Kobe Turner, the young defensive standout tackle they drafted. He had his arm around Kobe Turner, and they kind of skipped off the field like they were in elementary school. And I said, and I'm looking at this, and I said, man, you know what? He's found joy in helping out the next generation of players, and that's what he's going to continue to do. I think his work ethic won't stop. He is just now at a point where, honestly, he had already chased greatness. He's already the greatest defensive tackle in the game. Maybe, like you said, top 5 defensive player ever in the game. And it's to a point now he walks away on top, which a lot of players don't necessarily have that luxury. Aaron Donald will do that.
Kirk Morrison is our guest. Kirk, last thing for you. How do the Rams move forward from here? In other words, you can't, I mean, he's irreplaceable. You can't get one guy to replace him. You mentioned Kobe Turner, who had 9 sacks last year, but how big of an impact is this on the Rams defense for a team that made the playoffs last year and was moving forward this year with Super Bowl hopes?
Oh, I think you have a lot of faith in Les Snead and Sean McVay. I mean, like I said, last year they drafted 14 players. All 14 of their players made the team, and they were actually impact players. That's unheard of in the NFL.
Yeah.
You don't replace an Aaron Donald. You don't. It may take a year or two. It's going to take multiple guys to give you the production of one Aaron Donald. And you got to have faith in the organization that they will go out and they'll plug players in. They'll look at the waiver wires. They'll see and look at free agency. You can't replace Aaron Donald. It's going to take 2 or 3 years before they finally solidify that position. But look, Aaron Donald gave them the opportunity to do it now in the offseason. Now the Rams may go into it with a first-round pick for the first time since they moved to Los Angeles. Maybe they go out and draft a defensive tackle for the first time in a very long time. That could be something that we see, but it's going to be hard to replace one of the greatest football players ever, regardless of uniform.
Kirk, I know your phone's ringing off the hook. Thank you for talking with us, and have a great day, man. Have a good weekend. We'll see you soon.
You too. Good talking to you, John Ramona. Have a good one.
All right, there's Kirk Morrison. And coming up, we'll spin the wheel of questions, and we'll continue to talk about Aaron Donald, who surprised everybody. Well, maybe not the Rams. Apparently, he gave the Rams a heads up, but surprised a lot of Ram fans by announcing his retirement today. Momo and for Mace, I'm John Ireland. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
Hey, I'm Dave Denholm.
And I'm Mario Rees.
You know us from the LAFC radio broadcasts.
Now we have a new podcast called LAFC Plus, and you can find it on the ESPN LA app.
LAFC Plus brings you all the latest on the black and gold.
Plus, we break down the latest news and interesting stories from around MLS.
For all the news, fun, insight, and everything that is MLS and LAFC, join us on LAFC Plus.
LAFC! It's available on the ESPN LA app and everywhere you get your podcast.
Join us.
On the radio, Mason in Ireland, here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
All right, time for Wheel of Questions. Laura Romo, what do you got?
All right, guys. So I found a really cool, clothing shop that sells vintage sports jerseys, shirts, jackets, etc. And I saw a dope Bills jacket, and I almost bought it. But then I said to myself, I can't wear another team's gear. My question to you guys is, would you wear another team, obviously not your team's gear, if it's vintage? Are you guys open to that? Or it's like, nah, I can only wear my own.
I would be. It depends who the player is. Like, it was just a Bills jacket, but with no player reference. I probably wouldn't do that. But I would wear like an old Pete Maravich jersey. Or I would wear like an old Dr. J jersey.
Okay.
Even though those guys weren't playing for, I'm a Laker fan, those guys weren't playing for the Lakers, I would do that. Momo, wouldn't you? Like, if it was a certain player, or you just...
I wear stuff all the time, and I put my kids in all different outfits because I have a different job. Like, I almost... Like, my kids are wearing Milwaukee Bucks things, Sixers things. I remember with baby clothes, like, a lot of teams like would send me stuff. I would buy stuff from all of, because I kind of wanted to be like, hey, I'm not choosing stuff, I'm neutral.
You're
right?
neutral.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think it's cool to wear other teams' gear. I mean, it doesn't make, like, now in the NFL, I'm still gonna wear Raider stuff, but I'm probably not gonna. I wouldn't look at you funny if you were wearing a Bills thing. But if you wore like a Broncos outfit, or if you wore a Chargers thing, or one of our rivals, that'd be a problem.
Bergman, you okay wearing opposing gear?
So yes and no. No, if you're a team that's still around right now, that's not my team. No, absolutely not. If you're the Quebec Nordiques, like, sure, I'll wear that because that's vintage and cool, and I think it's kind of, I like the logo and all that kind of stuff. But no, if I'm a Los Angeles Kings fan, I'm not going to wear, a Boston Bruins jersey. Like, that's just not going to happen. I will wear
I
my
bought a
team,
Mariners shirt last year at spring training because I like Julio Rodriguez, right? So I bought one of his, and I like the teal.
Yeah, I like the color. And also,
color.
So
like, I would
you're
wear
a Dodger fan, so like Seattle, that's okay. It's different.
Seattle, they're not gonna, they ain't hurt nobody.
I would wear an Edmonton Oilers Gretzky jersey.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I'd get a Kings one too, but I don't.
Well, it's like Edmonton's good, and they're kind of rivals with the Kings. Nah, I'm out.
Yeah, it is interesting what you can and can't get away with.
Yeah, like I would never do. So for me, I would never do anything Boston. I don't care. I would only do like a Chicago Bulls like throwback because I love
like
that
Jordan?
the 90s Bulls stuff. I love, or like a Yankee thing. But that's it. Like, I don't see myself really.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Nah,
by the way, isn't this how Rich Paul started his career?
It is.
Selling vintage sports jerseys?
Like out of the trunk of his car.
Right. And was like really good at it. And word got around that if you needed to find an old vintage jersey, that Rich was your guy. And
now he's buying Lakers.
Right. Well, I mean, he might have enough money to buy a team now. You never know. I don't think it'll be the Lakers, but I think he might be able. Like LeBron's talking about maybe getting this Vegas expansion team. I'm sure Rich might be a part of that. It'd be a matter of whether or not he could be an owner and still represent players. And if he wanted to, like Arn Tellem did that. He went to work for the Pistons. He got out of the agent business. Rob Pelinka did that.
Yeah.
Rob represented tons of players. They offered him the Laker GM job, and he just divested all his clients.
What about you, Brian?
Yeah, this one is a big no-no for me. It's very taboo. I don't know. Like, you'll never see me in any other thing if it's not Dodgers, Lakers, or Chargers. I just can't fathom putting it on. I don't know. It just feels wrong. And I have a bunch of friends from San Diego that aren't Padre fans.
Right.
And they'll wear, like, the home jerseys or the road ones that say San Diego on it. I give them so much crap for that. Like, you can't do that.
Well, I will say this. Aaron Donald did everybody a favor today. He never played for another team. So now, if I was buying a Rams jersey, his name goes to the top of the list because it will never be out of style. Matthew Stafford, Rams jersey, I think he's going to finish his career with the Rams. But most players come and go. If you can find, like I always say, if you came to me and said, hey, Ireland, I want to buy you a vintage Dodgers jersey and you can pick the player, it would either be Jackie Robinson or Sandy Koufax because they can never go out of style.
Yeah.
And now Aaron Donald joins that club. There's only going to be Aaron Donald Rams jerseys. He never played for the Steelers or the Cowboys or anybody else.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking about that with LeBron. Like, he won championships with 3 different franchises. Do they all retire his number? Do they all retire his jersey? Is there going to be a LeBron statue here one day? I don't know.
There was a kid at a game we did this year. I can't remember if it was for Westbrook or LeBron. McMenamin got a picture of it, a video of it. And,
I know this kid.
The kid had every jersey that was at Westbrook that he had ever worn.
He had like 45 jerseys on.
Yeah, he had
and it was like a
UCLA,
thing.
OKC, Houston, Washington, Lakers, Clippers.
Home and away.
Yeah, and
he had
he just kept,
he
just kept taking them off, and I think he had like 15 or 16 of them on. It was really funny. But yeah, that's a good question. Would you wear a jersey of another team if it was for a great player? Laura, to answer your original question, I don't think I could just wear a Bills jacket. I would have to get
I feel you.
Like, maybe
Josh Allen or something,
or even somebody that like used to play for him, like Andre Reed or Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly. I'd wear a Jim Kelly jersey.
That's cool.
But that would be it. All right, 2:00 call of the day is coming up here in about 5 minutes, and you can talk about anything. You can talk about Lakers, Dodgers, Clippers, Rams, Aaron Donald, anything you want. But before we do that, I knew we were going to have 2 women here today, so I put this in as a question for you guys, but I'm particularly interested in what Ramona and Laura think. You guys know about this dating app, Bumble?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Bumble is a dating app.
Laura's like, yes.
That requires women to make the first move. That's their thing. That's what separates them from Match.com and Tinder and everything else.
Can I step in just for a second because I use these apps?
Yeah.
Or I was.
No.
I hate them. I don't like them. So,
did you ever use Bumble?
Of course, absolutely. I actually just deleted
I've seen somebody
about like 2 weeks ago.
using Bumble live in action, and it was unbelievable.
So Bumble is no longer that way.
Well, this is where I was going. Bumble announced this week that they're revising their strategy that women go first because they say it feels like a burden. So my question, Ramona and Laura, if you ran Bumble, would you open it up that a man can contact a woman and a woman can contact a man, or leave it woman goes first?
I think they've run the numbers. I mean, I like the idea that the woman goes first, but I saw what happened when I watched somebody use this.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm not going to say where or who.
Right.
But you may have been there.
Okay.
And it was unbelievable. It went from, like, some women use this, and when they make the move, it kind of sends this message that they're down to party.
Okay.
Like, they may not necessarily be just looking for a relationship
Laura,
or whatever.
Did
you
ever
kind of
use...
sends a move that gets you to, like, a different, way faster place than you would have thought.
Laura, did you ever use Bumble?
I did. I actually enjoyed the fact that it was on me to interact.
Right.
But at the same time, because of that, I was like, I'm lazy. I want them to... You know what I mean? So it's, I mean, it could go either way. I've never heard that, Momo, and I never did Tinder because to me, Tinder was always that, right?
Yeah, Tinder
like
was if you're on Tinder, you're looking to have sex, right?
Yeah, you're looking to have fun. You're DTS.
It's like
let's
I'm
go.
bored tonight. Who's around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Greg, did you ever have any success with Bumble?
Yeah, I dated plenty of people on Bumble. You go out on dates or not, but they also would do this. So it would be women have to go first, but they just go, hey.
Yeah.
Like that's not doing anything. Then you have to make the move as the
then
man.
You have to
engage more. It was either hey or hey, Greg. And like,
Greg,
what am
I
I
got a
supposed
question.
to do with that?
Do you ever meet people IRL?
It's very, very hard.
What's IRL?
In real life.
In real life.
Okay.
It's very. I don't go to bars.
Yeah.
I don't go to certain places, but
You
I've
should.
actually had much better success on Hinge. And
Okay.
actually, the woman I'm dating now is from Hinge.
Does Hinge have a twist to it like Bumble?
No, it's just that originally it was supposed to be you had to know them in some sense or connected to somebody else.
Friend
in
of a
some
friend
sense.
kind of thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
but that's no
7
longer what it
degrees
is.
of separation
It's
type of
just
thing.
it's
They
just an app.
can you can review anyone's profile, anyone can review
Yes,
yours.
absolutely.
So the thing with the dating apps, and I've been out of them for a minute, I will admit, but it was depending on what app you were on is what you wanted. If you were on Tinder, you knew what you wanted.
You were
If
looking to hook up.
Yeah, if you were
You're on
like,
Match.com, you were looking to get married.
Right. And Hinge, and I remember this one, POF, this is a throwback. It was kind
Plenty
of
of
like
fish.
Right. So it
Oh,
was
so I love these. Okay.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of like, or like OkCupid. Because you had to do such a long questionnaire.
Yeah.
It was like hit or miss of who was really down to DTF or who was really down to date.
Hey,
you
Greg,
know?
did you ever stick your foot in the pool of the goofy, like super specific apps like JDate or FarmersOnly.com?
I mean, I tried FarmersOnly.com, but I wasn't a farmer, so it didn't work out for me. But I did try JDate once.
JDate, for people who don't know, is a Jewish dating site.
Right. So I know this is going to sound very weird, but Jewish women have never liked me.
No, it doesn't sound weird. I have a friend. I've told you guys this story before.
It's weird.
I've had a story that and I don't know, this obviously doesn't exist in your family, Greg. Momo, I don't know if it existed in yours, but my friend, good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Successful dater. Like, girls loved him. A couple of Lisa's friends went out with him and just loved him. And he would come to me and he would say, hey, that girl's great, but I can't do anything seriously because my parents won't let me marry a girl who's not Jewish.
Oh, yeah.
And I went, like, really? Like,
Yeah.
he goes, yeah, I would be disowned. He goes, it's
Wow.
not. He goes, it's not common anymore. But he goes, it is for very Jew. And like, I've got some older friends who are Jewish that have kids now, and I say, would you be okay if your son or your daughter married somebody who isn't Jewish? And they say, no, we would not be okay.
Wow.
So that was JDate. That's why
Okay.
JDate got created.
So, my mom married a guy who is not Jewish. My dad's not Jewish, which is why my last name is Shelburne. It doesn't sound, So, my mom was like, I need to mix up the blood a little bit. We need to get some, like.
Greg, you've always said that too. It
yeah.
doesn't matter to you if the person
Yeah.
you're dating is Jewish or not, right?
No, absolutely not.
And I know a lot of but we
Ex-wife
were
wasn't
raised Jewish, but we also got. A lot of we got a Christmas tree and we got Christmas and whatever.
Sure.
Because my dad wasn't particularly religious. He just
Do
wasn't
you
Jewish.
and Nevin do both now, or just
just
okay.
do both? Why not?
Okay, you
know,
celebrate
and
Christmas and
a little
Hanukkah.
bit, yeah. But we
Okay.
just get a tree and some presents. But like, I also
Riley
do
does
Hanukkah.
both, right, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does
Christmas
both.
and Hanukkah.
Yeah, and actually, I do Christmas with her now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and so, but Nevin is Jewish as well. However, he's not there. Like, I'm way more practicing or into it than he is.
Yeah.
And I remember it was a thing. He didn't want to wear the kippah on his head at the wedding. And I go, well, it was kind of a big deal, Nev. Like, you got to have the kippah. I mean, like, we're going to have a Jewish wedding. You got to do that. You got to step on the glass. You got to, we don't have to do all the other stuff, but you got to. And he goes, I just don't like the way it makes my hair look. Like, I just, like, he didn't want that for, like, his wedding photos, whatever. And we talked to the rabbi about it, and he was like, yeah, you're all right. It's outdoors,
Yeah. I think for some people it's very important. Other people it doesn't matter. Okay, 2 o'clock call today coming up. 877-710-ESPN. Open the phones, Greg. 877-710-3776. Reminder, this is big.
Yes.
It is the final BB Go Fifth Row Friday of the regular season today on Mason and Ireland. We do the pop quiz. You could be sitting fifth row at Lakers versus Atlanta on Monday night. BB Go is the official game day snack of the Lakers. We'll have a question from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and today. If you answer all 5 questions correctly, Greg, correct answers to the questions, you can win the Fifth Row Friday ticket. So we got that coming up.
I was here that day.
Momo in for Mace. I'm John Ireland, Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA. That's where Aaron Donald's going, straight to the Hall of Fame. The Rams defensive tackle retired today after 10 years of a remarkable career, and he had everything. He got a Super Bowl title. He had 10 Pro Bowl appearances, 8-time All-Pro. I mean, just universally regarded as the best defensive player in the NFL, no matter who you talk to. The 2 o'clock call of the day. We'll take calls on anything you want, 877-710-ESPN. Let's try Chris in Irvine. Hey, Chris, you're on ESPN LA. Hi.
How are you, John?
Good, Chris.
In Irvine. Good. Hey, listen, real quick, before I ask the question, grew up listening to Chick, born and raised in Lakewood, what have you. We think you do a wonderful, wonderful job.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
You're very welcome for that. It's well-deserved. Did you ever consider remember Laker Line? Chick used to take the calls before the show. That we used to enjoy that as much as the game, believe it or not.
Well, the funny thing about that, Chris, is that the deal they had back in those days was Chick would do the pregame show and Stu would do the postgame show.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And the greatest thing was, at that point of his life, Chick was so established that he could say anything he wants and not get fired. I get worried about getting fired every month.
Yeah.
But Chick was bigger than anybody that worked at the team, and so he knew he couldn't get fired. So people would call him, and it was so entertaining, Chris. People would call him and say, Chick, why don't we trade for Larry Bird? And Chick would go, what do you think, the Celtics are stupid? What are you, an idiot? We can't trade for Larry Bird. Blah, blah, blah. And then Chick would hang up and go to the next caller, and it was fantastic because you just used to listen.
Can I give you one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, can I give you one of my favorites at all time? We're on our way to the game, my brother and I, and we're listening to it in the car. And Chick says, let's go to, I don't know, Bill in El Segundo. Bill, you're on. What's your question? The guy goes, hey, Chick, you've seen all the greatest players ever. You've seen Russell, Chamberlain, West, Magic, Jordan, you've seen them all. He said, I want to hang up, and I want you to take your time, Chick, and give me the greatest player you've ever seen. Chick said, it's Michael Jordan. I don't need any more time. What's your next question?
Wow. So Chick knew back then.
Right.
Yeah.
He said, I don't need. And then Chick explained, John. He said, let me tell the audience why I said Michael Jordan that quick. He said, I never in my life in pro basketball have seen anybody dominate a floor, the court, like Jordan on both ends. He said when he was on the floor, everything was about Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it was. I'm having Brian look it up, Chris, and this was an amazing thing to me. When Bobby Knight was coaching the 1984 Olympic team.
Okay.
All right, and now Bobby Knight's not for everybody. I know he turned a lot of people off. Just passed away recently. Bobby Knight turned a lot of people off because he was so obnoxious and so demanding. But somebody asked him, and keep in mind, now Jordan had never played, Chris, had never played an NBA game. All right? He had just gotten out of North Carolina.
Right.
He had been drafted by the Bulls, and he was playing for Team USA at the Olympics. Here's Bobby Knight, Chris. I don't know if you've ever heard this. When somebody said, what do you think of that kid from Carolina, Michael Jordan? Knight knew. Listen to this.
The kid is just an absolutely great kid. If I were going to pick the 3 or 4 best athletes I've ever seen play basketball, he'd be one of them. I think he's the best athlete I've ever seen play basketball, bar none. If I were going to pick people with the best ability I'd ever seen play the game, he'd be one of them. If I were going to pick the best competitors that I'd ever seen play, he'd be one of them. So in the categories of competitiveness, ability, skill, and then athletic ability, he's the best athlete, he's one of the best competitors, he's one of the most skilled players. And that, to me, makes him the best basketball player that I've ever seen play.
Wow.
Can you believe that, Chris? He knew.
That could have been his introduction into the Hall of Fame right there.
Yeah, unbelievable. Okay, so Chris, what was your question?
Well, real quick, John, I wanted to ask you, or anybody else as well, if it's with you, of course. Is it just me, or is it just us? What is with the Lakers passing? I mean, LeBron historically, and he still is a great passer, short passer. What is with the cross courts and the long throws and the sloppy passing? We don't understand it. They're not controlling the ball. Are you seeing these horrible passes?
Oh, yeah. And it's a major reason why they've been unable to beat some of these teams they're chasing. And it's another way of putting that, Chris, is they're turning the ball over too much.
Mm-hmm.
They're just being careless with the ball, and they've got to get those numbers down. When they get those numbers down, when their turnovers are low, like less than 10, they normally win. But they haven't been less than 10 lately. They've been turning it over way too much. So they're aware of it. They're working on it, and they better get it right.
I just think there's a lack of connectedness to it. There's a sort of trying to skip steps, whenever somebody's sloppy, it means they're not. Like, I see them go, okay, we got to push the ball. Let's get it up and down the court, whatever it is. But they're not, you can't have a home run ball. You have to have 5 passes to get the ball to the guy in the right spot. You can't just skip it across the court.
Yeah, and so, Chris, hopefully they'll get that. It's a good question, and thank you for the call and for the compliments. Very nice of you.
Well, you're very welcome.
All right, have a great day.
Good pull on that Bobby Knight quote.
Yeah, I mean, can you believe that he said that before he ever played
like,
an NBA game?
What was the one with the movie that just came out on Michael Jordan, Air?
Really good.
The Sonny Vaccaro movie.
Yeah.
And remember the guy in Portland who's the guy in Portland who was the shoe guy, and he was like, they weren't sure who they should take at number 1.
Yeah,
Sam Bowie,
Rob Strasser.
Yeah,
and
people knew,
and Phil Knight. Yeah, well, Sonny Vaccaro knew.
Yeah.
And I loved Air. I thought Air was really well done, and I thought that that was a really gutsy play by them. One of the people that got their contract yanked when they gave all the money to Michael Jordan.
Huh?
Do you know this?
Michael Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh.
There were 5 Nike. They called them the flight crew. They, because it was Air Force One, and it was Michael, and he would tell you the other 5, but they were a bunch of guys that were all lined up, and Sonny came in and goes, take all that money that you're giving to those dudes and give it all to Michael Jordan.
Wow.
And they did. So which was pretty
And then
insane.
Michael went to Anta.
Or Clay did, yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, so there has never been, in my lifetime or yours, a women's basketball movement like is going on right now.
Yeah.
It has never been more popular. And it's causing some weird things that we need to navigate. I'll explain coming up next. Momo Informace. I'm John Ireland, ESPN LA.
Hey, I'm Dave Denholm.
And I'm Mario Rees.
You know us from the LAFC radio broadcasts.
Now we have a new podcast called LAFC Plus, and you can find it on the ESPN LA app.
LAFC Plus brings you all the latest on the black and gold.
Plus, we break down the latest news and interesting stories from around MLS.
For all the news, fun, insight, and everything that is MLS and LAFC, join us on LAFC Plus.
LAFC! It's available on the ESPN LA app and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Join us.
99 retiring. Meanwhile, you know where he will be, though. Coming up this Thursday in the city of Manhattan Beach, very close to the Johnny I compound. The entire radio station for Madness Thursday is broadcasting live from the Islands there in Manhattan Village, the shopping mall. Islands Restaurant, Island Boy, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come on out. Party with us, watch hoops, and see Mason and Ireland in person. That's Thursday at the Islands Restaurant. Islands, your local paradise in Manhattan Beach. We'll see you there right now. More of Ireland and Momo, your Friday afternoon on 710.
All right, Bergman says he has breaking news that I'm not going to like, but that's all he would tell me. Greg, what do you got?
Hold on.
What you're gonna like?
Breaking news on 710 is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Head into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change.
So do you want to guess? So the Rams have a new backup quarterback. Do you want 3 guesses
Sure.
on who is going to be?
And it's not Carson Wentz. They're not bringing back Carson Wentz.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so that's my first guess.
That was okay. Yes, it is not Carson Wentz.
All right, what do you think, Momo?
Justin Fields.
No, he wouldn't be a backup
quarterback.
I'm just saying.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ooh, good guess, but no.
Oh. Okay, you got the last one. Well, let's think a good one.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
That I think would be ideal
All right.
for a backup quarterback. Jameis Winston.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good guess, but
Good one.
absolutely not. No, it's not. It's going to be, according to Adam Schefter, the Rams are signing former Raiders and 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, per source.
Isn't he suspended?
Yeah, the NFL suspended Garoppolo 2 games for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. Rams are giving former Raiders
You know what?
1 year
I don't
deal.
hate that.
You know what, Greg? For a
I
backup,
absolutely hate it.
For a backup, as long as they're not overpaying him.
At least he is a.
I'd rather have him than the Wolf.
Sure, he's a veteran quarterback that has played in the NFL and has been a starter on some good teams. However, the biggest problem he had with the Raiders and with everybody else, the 49ers and even the Patriots, he can't throw the ball deep. He has no deep game, and that's a huge part of the Rams game.
It really isn't. Think about it.
Well,
Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are more short pass guys than long pass guys. They're both fast.
Yeah, but that's there because they have the ability to go deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Stafford's going to start.
Yeah.
And Stafford's going to be like, Garoppolo as a backup is probably fine.
Yeah.
Garoppolo sucks.
I'm surprised, though, that because of his injury history that the Rams rolled the dice here. Normally you would give that to a younger guy. But we'll see.
I mean, he did well as a backup in San Francisco because, he didn't have to play every game.
Right.
He was healthy when they needed him.
When he did, he took him to the Super Bowl 1 year. All right. So I mentioned that ratings for women's basketball are through the roof. There are some people that are suggesting for the first time ever that the women's final, if Caitlin Clark makes it, might get a higher rating than the men's final.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So you may have seen last week, Momo, LSU and South Carolina, 2 of the top 3 teams in the country. They're both great.
Yep.
Got in a fight, got in a shoving match, and they ejected like 10, 11 people. Kim Mulkey, who is the coach at LSU and who is very outspoken.
I would use the word pugnacious.
Yes, very good. She does a coach's show every week in Baton Rouge. And she says that she's disappointed in the way the media covered the LSU South Carolina fight. Listen to what she said.
Those kind of things happen, and it's so out of control with the media right now. You don't get this much attention when men do it, so why do you keep writing it about the women? It really comes across, and I'll just say it comes across as a little bit sexist. And you're tearing down 2 great teams. You're tearing down a woman that coaches one of those teams. Stop it. It's not newsworthy after the first introduction. And I've seen every men's game that has had something like that, and it's no big deal. We mention it and we move on. And nobody got in a fight. There was no punches thrown. There was nobody choked. It was a shoving match. Whoop-de-doo. So let's move on.
Is she right?
I don't know. I mean, I think you would cover it if it was a men's fight, too.
I think she's missing a big part of this. It's great that people are covering it. If this would have happened 10 years ago, nobody cares. It doesn't get a blip.
Yeah.
Now, because people are lining up, Momo, to get to these women's games. I think when Caitlin Clark gets to the WNBA, I have never had any interest in going to a Sparks game. I just don't.
Not even when Candace Parker was here, Lisa Leslie, no.
No.
Whoopie-doo.
Yeah, whoop-de-doo. Thank you, Pepe. But now, okay, so have you seen this girl play at Stanford named Cameron Brink?
Yeah.
She's turning pro. She's going to the WNBA. The Sparks have the second pick.
They're going to take her.
Right. So she's going to be playing for the Sparks.
They also
with
have
the Agumakays and you know all these other good players.
No, Nneka went to Seattle.
Right, but
Shanae, I don't know.
Shanae is Shanae's killing it on TV.
Yeah.
She may not need to play. But my point is, I think any coverage of women's basketball can be good.
Yeah.
Because in 5-6 years ago there was none.
Yeah, or there was some but it was siloed. Right? It was in its own little niche in the world. And I don't think it cut through the way that it is right now because there's a parity in the women's game. There's personalities. There's rivalries. It used to just be UConn, Tennessee, Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, right? Sue Bird, and it was just too. It just seemed like, okay, which one of the 3 or 4 good teams are going to win this year? Now it's wide open, and there's stars all over the place. Juju Watkins, I mean, she's amazing at USC.
Right.
The UCLA team is great. Stanford even lost.
USC, UCLA women at Pauley this year sold out.
Sold out.
Last year there were 5,000 people there.
Yep.
This year twice as many.
Yep.
Sold out.
And that's Juju.
Yeah.
And I think it's I will say this about Kim. People love a cat fight.
Right.
Okay. People love when women fight, it becomes a bigger story. Like whether you fight on the air, off the air, they love it when 2 women yell at each other, whether on the court, whatever. So there is some quality of that. I still think it would be covered if it was 2 men's team got into a fight like that.
Yeah. So I found that interesting. Oh, by the way, so since we're talking about women, let me get this in there too. We played a clip from Bobby Knight earlier. And a lot of people say, why would you, if you were a player, go play for Bobby Knight, where he's just going to berate you and yell at you and mock you. And other people say that Greg Popovich, Bill Belichick.
Bill
if you're
Jackson
watching this Dynasty on Apple, Belichick's just a jerk. He just is. And so many people have said in the modern day, you need to be Sean McVay. You need to be positive and coach him up. But I thought Laura found this. I thought this was an excellent explanation as to why you would go play for a difficult coach, for a Bill Belichick, for a Bobby Knight, for somebody that is going to dress you down. This is Carol Lawson, who used to work at ESPN. But now she's the head women's coach at Duke. And somebody recorded her giving this speech to her team. And this is very well articulated as to why you might want to go play for somebody who is going to get on you.
Because if you go around waiting for stuff to get easier in life, it's never going to happen. And then what happens? Oh, it's so hard. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't know when is it going to be easy for me? Oh, it's easy for other people. It's not. It's hard. And the second we see you handling stuff, handling hard better, what are we going to do? We're going to make it harder. We're going to make it harder. Because we're preparing for you for when you leave here. Not just basketball and life. And if you think life, when you leave college, is going to be all of a sudden get easy because you graduated and you got a Duke degree, it's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder. So make yourself a person that handles hard well. Not someone that's waiting for the easy. Because if you have a meaningful pursuit in life, it will never be easy.
Isn't she right?
So right.
Isn't that like if she gave me that speech in my locker room or in my home, if she's coming in to recruit me, I'd go, I want to go play for her.
Yeah. I mean, when I always have a judge of coaches, which is that I think great players want to be coached. If you don't want to be coached, you're probably not going to get to your full potential. This idea that, coaching is criticism. A pretty well-known head coach said that to me. This guy sees every bit of coaching is criticism. It's not criticism. They're trying to make you better, right? And if you don't want that, if you're not trying to reach your full potential, I don't think you're ever going to. And I don't really want you on my team if that's the case. And I think that When you look at your career, John, did you have a smooth ride to where you are now?
God, no.
Like, I mean, I feel like I had a tough road. We stalled out a few times. We just kept going. There was a lot of moments of crisis, some moments of like, what the heck am I doing with my life? There's
right,
and the people who actually make it are the ones who push through those.
And I thought that was a brilliant way of articulating it. By the way, Bergman, did you see that story that I sent you today? That Deion Sanders has made 0 home visits recruiting. He's got the 66th best recruiting class.
Wow.
Last year he was 33rd. This year he's 66th. Jim Harbaugh, before he took the Charger job, 153 recruiting visits. Steve Sarkisian, 131. Deion, 0.
What?
I thought Deion was smarter than this.
Is he thinking that he just himself is the recruitment?
Yes.
That's all it has to be?
He's thinking, they'll come to me. I don't need to go to them. If Jim Harbaugh and Steve Sarkisian are he has a private jet in his deal, Deion. He hasn't used it.
Nope.
Dude.
I mean, what in the world?
Dude.
He thinks he's bigger than the game. He's thinking he's bigger than the sport.
No, I want somebody like Carol Lawson coming to my house and giving me that speech.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
And if you don't, if I'm not important enough for you to come to my high school, or to come to my house and meet my parents, I don't care how many times you're in the Hall of Fame or how famous you are.
Zooms or something?
I guess.
Oh.
I mean, it surprises me because I thought Deion's really smart. If you listen to him talk, he's really he's been through a lot of life. I think this is almost inexcusable for him to do this. I hope he comments on it as to why he doesn't do it, because I think it's a competitive disadvantage. Sure does. Yeah, it sure does. All right, let me tell you about iSpot Active. iSpot Active is wearable cryotherapy. So I've been going to cryo places for years. It costs $75 every time I go in there. I go in the chamber for 3 minutes and I feel better. But I haven't gone to one in about 6 months because iSpot Active came along. Go to that website, iSpotActive.com, ICEBOD active.com. If you play golf, pickleball, tennis, soccer, basketball, football, do your knees hurt, your back, your shoulders, your arms, you put one of these compression shirts on or these compression pants and you slide in the ice cold gel packs. Leave it on for 20 minutes and I feel better right away. See if it works for you. And here's the best part. 30-day money-back guarantee. You get this thing, you don't like it, it's not working for you, send it back, you get all your money back. And it's free shipping. So you got nothing to lose. Only available online. You got to go to the website, ICEBODactive.com. You'll see a testimonial there from James Worthy. He's one of the owners of the company. You'll see a doctor. It has a frequently asked questions section. If you've got any questions, any curiosity about how you can get this compression wear, which is a better way to ice. If you're somebody who ices, the days of putting ice bags on your knees, ice bags on your ankles, sticking your foot in a bucket of ice, you don't have to do it anymore. Check out iSpot Active today. It could change the way you ice. It's a better, faster, more convenient way to do it. iSpot Active, iSpotActive.com.
funny people.
All right, we'll tell you why we're playing the Succession theme in a minute. But Damian Sanchez in Highland Park is your winner of a pair of tickets to see the Titans of Soft Rock Yachtly Crew. Just listen for Morales to give you the cue to call when you hear it. Be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. We're in a pair of tickets to 710 ESPN Night at the Whiskey in Hollywood on Friday, March 29th. You can see Mason, Cappy, and Morales. Bring on Yachtly Crew. Get your tickets now. Join the fun. Are you going to go?
I gave him a soft yes.
I'm going to be in Indiana.
I gave him a soft yes. Like the ask me again when we get closer to it. I'll see if I have something better to do.
There you go. If it were any other night.
I might go. I might.
Bergman, are you going to
that? It sounds fun.
I'm absolutely going to that. It's going to be a blast.
I love Yacht Rock.
I've actually seen Yachtly Crew before, and I saw them at the Starlight Bowl in Burbank, and it was amazing.
I think it sounds really fun, and I think that I might go.
Oh, good.
You should go.
You should go.
Legitimately.
Ask me again as we get closer.
Ramona, explain to the audience why we're playing the Succession theme song.
I have been very excited about this story all day. John, you want to do this story?
Of course.
All day.
Love it.
Okay. And there's also always no reason why we should not play the Succession music because it's so great. But a family often compared to the fictional Roy family from HBO's Succession is living out one of the show's storylines. This, according to Dan Woike from the LA Times. Johnny Buss, brother of Lakers Governor Jeannie Buss, is running for president of the United States, according to documents filed with the Federal Election Committee. Quote from Johnny Buss, "I envision an America that leads with compassion, innovation, and most of all, integrity. An America where racial equity is not just an ideal, but a lived reality for every citizen." Okay, we can skip forward. If you want to learn more, it's bus2024.com. He's registered as an independent candidate. According to campaign documents, because this part is great. According to campaign documents, he filed for his candidacy on January 30th. He has spent $118,000 of his own money, including $1,500 for hairstyling expenses.
He knows what's important.
And $36,000 for a film production company. He didn't immediately get back to the writer. However, the email address listed on his filing paperwork didn't appear to be functioning, with multiple emails bounced back to the sender Thursday afternoon.
Stuff happens.
So, John, as you know, one of our favorite characters on Succession is Connor Roy.
He's the oldest boy.
The oldest boy who
and
also mounted...
Johnny is the oldest boy. This. Okay, so here is Connor Roy from Succession.
If you want to print something in your little book, you may print the following line. Connor Roy was interested in politics at a very young age. That's it.
Connor, this isn't an interview. We're just two people chatting at a funeral. Fine. It's a good turnout. It's a nice church, don't you think?
I'll tell you what a nice church it is. Conor Roy was interested in politics from a very young age.
Okay. You know, you're not doing yourself any favors by refusing to talk.
Interesting point. To which I would add, Conor Roy was interested in politics from a very young age.
Oh, it's so good.
Hey, a lot of people are unhappy with the choice of the two major
John,
parties.
Are you going to vote for him?
Well, I might. I'm not crazy about the other two guys. Good for Johnny. What the heck?
Look, according to his website, he's running on a platform of a more equitable and just America, empowering our future through education and leading on climate. All those sound good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And I think, who do you think his running mate will be?
Oh, I don't know. Well, whoever Kennedy Jr. doesn't pick between Aaron Rodgers and the Buddy Ventura.
Aaron Rodgers?
I wonder if he could get LeBron to be his running mate.
I don't know. If LeBron's gonna run, he's not gonna be the running mate.
That's true. He'd want to be top of the ticket.
Maybe he could get Magic. Magic could do it. He'd be the top of the ticket too. Who we can?
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. If you ran for president, who would be your running mate?
If I ran for president, first of all, I wouldn't. But I think I'd be a better running mate than top of the ticket.
I would need somebody. I grew up conservative, and Republican, but now
You're
more
pretty centrist.
Yeah, now I'm more independent and in the middle. I would try and get like a liberal, maybe Mason, but Mason wouldn't want to be the running mate. He'd want to be.
He'd be the
want to be
front man,
top
yeah.
of the ticket.
That could be part of your campaign.
Yeah, we could flip a coin
Yeah,
to see
you can go back and forth.
which one you get.
Trade off every year. Trade off every other year.
So I wonder if Johnny makes it onto the ballot. What do you have to do to make it onto the ballot?
He registered in time.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I
have his number. We can get him on.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, but then do we have to do equal
Fair
time
use. Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
other people?
Yeah, we need to get everybody else on then.
And well, we at least need to offer to get them on. They'll all say no.
Yeah, well, they might not. Jill Stein. Jill Stein's gonna.
I've interviewed Donald Trump before.
Really?
When I was the sideline reporter for the Lakers, before he was in politics, I'm working a game at Madison Square Garden, and he is sitting courtside. And the producer says to me, "Hey, Donald Trump's over there. The Apprentice is the #1 show in America. Go see if he'll talk to you."
Okay.
I went to talk to him, and he was great. Good.
I was.
He was very nice.
I did a Sports Center hit about maybe 8 or 9 years ago, before Trump was president. Yeah. Probably during the Apprentice years, and we used to have Trump on First Take or Get Out.
Really?
Yeah. Back when Jay Crawford, remember, it was called Cold
Pizza.
Yeah,
I know Jay.
So. I was on, and they were in my ear, and my hit was kind of moving around because I was totally low man on the totem pole.
Sure.
So they were like, "Hey, you're scheduled for 8:30, but we have Donald Trump calling in. I don't know when he's going to call in, but if he calls in, we're just going to keep you on the line." I said, "Okay." So I had him in my ears as they were interviewing.
But
Trump.
this was before he was a political candidate.
Yeah. He was just on. But it was funny. I heard all their like chit chat. I heard all the before and after, and I was like, people don't realize when you're on, people hear everything.
Well, the
Once
country
that phone line's open.
The country is so polarized.
Yeah.
Like people either hate Trump or they hate Biden. Maybe Johnny Buss is the alternative that this country needs.
Connor Roy? That was his campaign?
You never know.
What was he? What did he almost get? He wanted to get a ambassadorship.
Yeah.
And in the last episode, what was he trying for? I
And
forget which country it was.
And they all kind of laughed at him.
Oh, he almost got it, though. Like, if he
Yeah.
would have endorsed the one candidate, they might have given him the better ambassadorship.
Right. Hey, Bergman, what's going on with the pickleball tournament?
So our first signature event is back. It's going to be next Saturday at Agape Pickleball Center in Fountain Valley. I played pickleball yesterday at your favorite place.
Yeah, how'd you do?
I got smoked 5 games in a row.
I'm actually doing that tonight. I will be playing the role of Greg Bergman.
Are you playing Lisa?
Yeah,
one-on-one?
she will destroy me. No, Lisa and I are playing together against a couple that knows how to play, so they're going to school
Oh,
us.
no. If you have Lisa, you're going to be just fine. But you join us for 710's Pickleball
Going to be just fine
Madness
if I can get a drink before we play.
Yeah, we do that at
Oh,
Pickleball
you're
Madness,
good,
too.
man. You're good.
March 23rd at the Agape Pickleball Center at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Food, drinks, games, fun zone, and March Madness. Plus, sign the biggest birthday card in the world for Steve Mason.
That's right. That's his actual birthday that day.
The actual birthday, and celebrate you, John Ireland, and Mason's 20-year anniversary on ESPN LA
About
to
time.
the day. RSVP now for your seat. Go to espnla.com and click the Pickleball Madness logo and RSVP.
All right, coming up next, What's Up, Fool? We'll get Laura, Brian, Greg in here. They'll throw a bunch of stuff at us. It's next on ESPN LA.
What's up, fool?
This season on 710, 5 in the Southland. You know what we do each weekday at 2:45. What's up, fool? And we've been very excited that What's Up, Fool is made possible by our friends at Dos Hombres. In fact, we've got a special guest voice. Take it away, guest voice.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
Look at that. How do I follow that? I don't. So I simply say, take it away, Corporate Greg.
Thanks, Morales. All right, do you know who Jason Licht is?
That he's an NFL GM, right?
Yes, he's an
There you
NFL
go.
GM
Good job.
for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
And he tweeted out just a little bit ago, Bucks have agreed to terms with John Wolford per source.
The Wolf.
The Wolf.
Wait,
So-
the NFL GM tweeted out his own
Yes,
news?
he tweeted out his own news.
Don't see that every day.
Right. Do you have a problem with a GM tweeting
Yes.
out his own news?
What's your problem?
It's like AI or something. I just cut out the middleman. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there would have been any reporter that he called would have been interested in reporting that.
So you're just protecting your brethren.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have no issue with it. Who cares?
I mean, I understand. Like the other day, we had that, Cameron Brink you talked about.
Yep.
So she was going to declare for the WNBA draft, and we were going to break it on our show on NBA Today because we support the women's game and we're interested,
Right.
et cetera. And so we lined this up to where she wanted to break her own news. I said, okay, I could respect that. Like it's your social media following. You want to break your own news. I respect it. And then they work with us and we have it, let her go first. And then 5 minutes later, we have her join the show or and it turns out her god brother is Steph Curry. So Steph Curry did a shout out for her.
For Cameron Brink.
Cameron Brink. This is normal in the industry for like if people want to break their own news, but like this is not like a big. Why is the GM breaking the backup quarterback news?
Ian Rappaport responded and he said, "Who is the source?"
Good for Ian.
I mean,
but it's odd, right? I mean,
if Wolford broke it,
It
that
is
would be
odd,
okay.
but I have no issue with it, Greg. Do you?
So no, I don't. But I wasn't sure because Momo,
Also,
who is
he
somebody
has
that
a press
breaks
release.
news,
He has a press department. Like the team could announce it.
Yeah, that's true.
right? He did it. He did it.
Ramona's
completely.
looking to protect the job
Yes.
of breaking news reporters.
And it was sponsored too by Fifth Third Bank. So it was
Oh,
at,
it's so
at
weird.
Fifth
Well, that
Third.
may be it.
So it was
Maybe they're
sponsored.
looking to take care of a sponsor.
I don't like that.
But yeah, like if you're the GM and using a sponsor and breaking your own news, I don't
Yeah,
know. They're
welcome
just-
to 2024 there, my
Odd.
friend.
Yeah.
That's the new way of the world. All right,
What's up,
fool?
Who's next?
All right, I got one for you guys here. I saw this on Airbnb. They're kind of diving into little specialty bookings now. You could stay overnight at the St. Paul's Cathedral in a hidden library.
Oh my God.
In London, which is considered a national kind of a monument per se,
Right.
historical
Yeah.
building. And you get a tour of the whole thing. But yeah, 22,000 books. You're in this hidden little
Wait a
library.
minute. I got to pay 22 grand for this?
No. I actually didn't
Okay.
click it, so I don't know the price. But that's like their
right.
advertising. 22. You're in a little hidden library with 22,000
Oh,
books.
books. Okay, yeah.
But my question here is there any like historical monument or place that you would want to stay overnight in? Because I think of myself probably like a museum, maybe some, Smithsonian.
They
or
made a
something like
movie
that.
about that.
They did, yeah, Night at the Museum.
Yeah, well, I've never. I mean, all the famous people get to stay in the Lincoln bedroom. It'd be fun to hook up in the Lincoln bedroom if they would let you go with your spouse. You figure Bill Clinton probably got busy in the Lincoln bedroom, but
Guys always go there.
what?
They always make it about where can I have
Yes,
sex?
exactly.
Where can I get some?
Yeah.
Well, by the way, would I be disrespectful if I got it on in that cathedral? I think I probably would be,
Yeah,
wouldn't
kinda.
Yeah, just
You're paying to be there.
I paid, yeah. I mean, I paid the money.
Wouldn't it be weird? I think it would be weird. Like,
I feel like there's like cameras and everything.
Yeah.
I would want to go to like the Vatican Museum. That'd be cool. Like the Sistine Chapel and just stay in there all night.
All right, so in Memphis, one year we go to Memphis, and you guys remember there used to be a building there called the Pyramid?
Yeah.
Where the
Oh, yeah.
Grizzlies played for a few
Yeah,
years.
yeah, I know the
and
Pyramid, yeah.
while they were building the Okay, so the Pyramid is now a Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the biggest
I thought
Bass Pro
Memphis played
Shop
there.
in the
No,
world.
the university. No.
No.
Okay.
They all play at the FedEx Forum now.
Okay.
But one year, the Lakers ran out of hotel rooms, and they sent the media, they sent all the announcers to the Bass Pro Shop, which is also a hotel. So I woke up in the morning in my room at the Bass Pro Shop. I took a shower. I walked downstairs, and I was buying socks. That was a little weird,
So weird.
but it was different, and
Yeah?
it was fine. The room was fine. So different places, there are places like this that you can stay that are non-traditional. But I was by myself at the Bass Pro Shop. I was just on a Lakers trip. Didn't do anything. All right, who's next?
What's up, Foo? All right, so earlier this week, I worked on my other job, and I was having a conversation with one of the producers. And he stopped in the middle of it, and he goes, oh, my God, I just got something, and it's the most toxic picture I've ever seen. I said, whoa, what did you see? He goes, Facebook reminded me that this happened 11 years ago. It was a picture of his ex-fiance and Jared, the Subway guy.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, he works in with the NFL and stuff, so it was one of those times. And my question to you guys is, do you guys delete old pictures on social media, especially old pictures of like old partners or someone that's been canceled, or you guys just kind of leave it alone?
I leave it alone. Yeah, somebody could probably find some pretty incriminating stuff.
Somebody tweet me and please tell me what the website is or people or if there's services to like go back and delete old tweets and old Facebook messages, because I have this like running joke with one of my friends, like, Facebook will be like, on this day 12 years ago you did this, you had this status update, and all the time I look at it, I'm like, I was so literal. Remember Facebook status updates used to be like, Ramona Shelburne is, and then it was like a prompt, and I would always write.
You had the Magic Johnson tweet?
Yeah.
It is a beautiful day today.
All mine were always like, is regretting staying up so late watching Below Deck. Man, why didn't I, I was like, why did I share this stuff? This is so dumb. Like, these are just daily stupid thoughts I had, and I always delete those.
I think it was because it was like the thing to do, because I've seen mine, or I overshared.
So embarrassing.
I would overshare on
everything.
Facebook.
Let me see if I can find some.
So
I used
bad.
to, every time I see it, I screenshot it and send it to my friend. And I'm like,
more proof.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. There probably are some incriminating pictures of me out there, but I've never gone back and cleaned them up. So I'm not sure.
Facebook reminds you, to Momo's point.
Well, I'm
That's
not
where
big
he
on
got
Facebook. I'm big on Twitter, though. Yeah, maybe, probably.
Let me see if I can find one. Hold on.
All right.
Oh, yeah, here's one. From 15 years ago. Ramona Shelburne hates when her iPod battery dies 5 minutes into a run. Like, why did...
That is the equivalent of Greg Bergman claiming the worst thing in the world is not being able to open a pistachio nut.
I mean, it's pretty bad.
Ramona's 14 years ago. Ramona Shelburne can't wait for the next Star Trek movie because the one I saw tonight was awesome. Shut up. I mean, like, what is this?
That's worse.
This
Come
is
on.
another
Ireland.
one.
That's
Listen,
worse.
this is even worse. Okay, this is
I'm
from
not reading
2010. Ramona Shelburne is speed dialing for Bauer socks. Yes, I do that. That's an American Idol contestant from like 2010.
Oh, God.
Wow. And then I did another. Wow, really, Cleveland? I have no idea what that's about. Lisa, why? What was I?
Yeah, you need to go do some house cleaning.
I mean, come on.
You need to get out of there. All right, we got one more.
Yeah, I got one more for you guys.
Okay.
So the NCAA discussed it's a tournament going from 68 teams to 72 or 76, which I think is about time. Maybe get a little more people in there. But I also saw front office sports reported this year the Elite Eight in Vegas. All teams will get $1 million in NIL money, and then the winning team will get an extra $1 million.
No kidding.
And so this, as a college kid in
Wow.
the tournament, this is one of the best things that you could play for, right? Like you're
Right.
gonna split the $1 million with all your teammates.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a whole new world. Ramona, I'm very worried that college sports are going to go away.
I know, me too.
Do you guys realize USC and UCLA very quietly lost this week? Momo, Stanford also lost. They're done.
I know.
That's it for the Pac-12.
That's it.
There's some spring sports that nobody cares about, but there'll never be a Pac-12 football game again, and there'll never be a Pac-12 basketball game.
Like somebody was pointing it out over the weekend, the broadcast crews for the Pac-12 network. Mary Murphy, you remember her? She's like, all those broadcasters, they're done. Like, what are they? They all got to go get new jobs, and people have been there for 20 years.
It's really sad for all the people that are at Pac-12 Network. JB Long does a lot of Pac-12
JB's
network
coming
stuff.
up. He's going to join us at the top of the hour.
Yeah, exactly. But not having to go to Pac-12 network is so exciting to me.
Well,
It's
I
the
never got it
worst
anyway. I'm a
network.
DirecTV guy.
Exactly. It was impossible to find. I had to get an app for it. It was just ridiculous. So for that to be gone, very, very happy. Not for the people, though.
I hate that the Pac-12's going away. I just think, what conference is Stanford even going to, Momo?
We are going to the ACC. So
that makes no sense.
I mean,
UCLA
it was
is
the
going
last
to the Big
big
10?
conference that we could go to.
Come on.
The Big 12 was closed up. Like first, everybody went to the Big 10. Then there was a bunch of the teams are going to the Big 12, and then the ACC was like the last big one we could go to.
Yeah, I think
we're paying to go to the ACC too.
And it's a shame that the people that ran the Pac-12 were unable to figure this out. The two commissioners, Larry Scott and George Kliavkoff, they've both been fired now, obviously, but they fumbled the ball big time. It was just.
I think like these kind of tournaments that you're talking about, like I think it's great for the student athletes, et cetera, but this is just not college sports.
Yeah, and it's going to be sad when we have no Pac-12 competition anymore. All right, we mentioned it. Coming up next, JB Long, voice of the Rams. Aaron Donald retired today at the top of his game after 10 excellent years as the best defensive interior lineman in football. We'll talk to JB coming up next. Momo in for Mace. I'm John Ireland, Mason and Ireland, ESPN, LA.
So I discovered a new.
The breaking news today is that Rams legend, champion, and future first ballot Hall of Famer, number 99, Aaron Donald, announced this morning that he will retire after just 10 seasons in the NFL. We're talking about it all day long in your home for Rams football. Breaking news on 710, powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Head into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home with a 15-minute drive-through oil change.
We're going to welcome our friend JB Long to the program. JB is the voice of the Rams. And JB, I was thinking about you today because I'm guessing part of you is disappointed that you're not going to get to call Aaron Donald games, and part of you is incredibly thankful that you get to do it for the past 10 years. How you feeling?
Yeah, that's so well said. And hello, John and Ramona as well. Thank you for the invitation. Any chance that I get to talk about the greatest athlete that I've ever had the privilege of covering up close and personal is a great one, but especially when it's in the context of your show. And that's exactly right. Like, it hurts so much today, and it's so sad because of how high that mountaintop was.
Yeah.
That he took us to. And I've never known the Rams without Aaron Donald. And it's in addition to the 10 years he gave us, the last two in particular, John, are the ones that I've focused on, and I've written kind of a thank you to Aaron in anticipation of this moment that'll be on our site in a little bit. And a lot of that focused on he had every right and opportunity to walk away on top of the sporting universe. But he decided outside the Coliseum that day to agree to run it back, and it did not go well in 2022. It was 5-12, and for the first time in his career, he missed games due to injury, right?
Yeah.
And as painful as that was, I'm so thankful because it helped us brace for this future that was inevitable that we're now about to enter, because we know that winning is possible. We know that inspiration and success is possible. It's going to be harder because of how much he spoiled us, as all the great ones do. But if he had walked away that day, I would have been thrilled for him, and this would have hurt even more, even though I think it would have been poetic.
JB, why do you think he was able to even think about walking away 2 years ago and then actually do it now? I mean, I've covered so many great athletes, and it's hard for them to give it up. It's hard for them to consider a life without the thing they're great at. But it seems like Aaron Donald was ready for the last couple of years even.
Yeah, a lot of it, I think, is the physical toll of football, and especially the way that he approaches his preparation for football. It is a full-time mental, physical, emotional operation and commitment. Is he going to miss it? Sure. And I don't want to speak too much on behalf of him, but what was unique about working with and around Aaron Donald is the standard that he upheld was him against yesterday. I've often said that he was never playing against the offensive guard across from him. He was never playing against the history books. He was playing against himself and Canton. That's it.
Yeah.
And we always knew that he was heading there. And the fact that he was able to finish it with a championship run, and a championship run in which he delivered the clinching play in the NFC Championship game against San Francisco and again in the Super Bowl against Cincinnati. Defensive players in football, they don't get those chances often. It's unprecedented what he did to basically hit the walk-off shot on defense on a football field on the greatest stage.
JB Long, the voice of the Rams, is nice enough to join us now. JB, your kids are little, right?
I have 7 and 4, and I feel where you're going with this, and I'm so glad that you're going there.
Okay, so my question would be, when they're old enough to understand and they say to you, Dad, you got to call Aaron Donald's games, what made him so great? How do you answer that? How do you explain to someone 10 years from now that never got to do what we got to do, which was to watch Aaron dominate games? Why do you think he was able to impact games the way he did?
Well, first, my 7-year-old is the second biggest Aaron Donald fan that I know in our household. But I'm the first. He's also the second biggest Aaron Donald fan among his peers.
Good.
Our close family friends, Milo, is the biggest Aaron Donald fan. And I texted my buddy, his father, today, like, how are you going to break this news to him? And he's like, I'm not going to. You have to do it tomorrow when you come over. And so I'm preparing myself for that. But I just wrote this down. I just struggled to put this into words, John, recently, that when my two boys play in the backyard, they pretend to be Aaron Donald and tackle each other. And I'm not big into idolizing other human beings, right? Because
Sure.
I know where all of our shortcomings lie. But what I will say to Aaron someday is that I'm glad that he's the one that they pretend to be, because his excellence was not derived from his physical talent. I love the fact that Aaron Donald was not the first pick of the first round of the draft. I love that he fell to 13, but he turned the question marks about him as a football player into exclamation points in his career.
JB, he's the same height as me. He's 6'1", and he did all that stuff you're talking about.
That's right. And his refrain is that hard work pays off. And look, he's got a lot going for him, right? Like, if you don't have the toolkit that he has, you don't even get the chance. But from where he started to where he finished, it's all due to not just his physical preparation, but his mental prowess and the hours that he poured into his craft, to see anyone on the basketball court, on the softball field, in all walks of professional life, to see someone achieve to maximize their ability is one of the things that we love and cherish most as a society. And so, yes, I don't want my sons to emulate or to idolize athletes, but I will carve out this exception for what made Aaron particularly special, and I'm fine with them taking that from his career.
Do you feel like his legend and sort of how good he was will actually grow because his career was relatively short? He could have gone on another 4 or 5 years, I'm sure. And sometimes that's the case, like Gale Sayers, right? I mean, there's
sure,
Barry Sanders. Like a lot of times when you end it short, you're the legend.
Well, we never see JB. We never see him play bad. He never had a bad year. He never, like, everybody deteriorates in sports, but he just didn't.
He could have extended his runway. Like, he could have continued to gravitate towards the edge rush. He could have been like a third down pass rushing specialist and pile up 10, 12 sacks per year for another 2, 3, 5 years. Get those counting stats, right? But I think Aaron knew his unique dominance as much as anyone. And he also has a lot of passions and a lot of loves outside of football that he did not get to focus on. The Rams organization for the last 10 years and for the 8 that I've been a part of, we have run largely on the beaming grin of Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
And we're going to sorely miss that. He didn't just impact his teammates and his coaches. He elevated the entire organization with his professionalism and his character. It was impossible to walk past Aaron Donald in the hallway and get a little nod and a little hello and a smile and not go about the rest of your day with the dog work mentality that he brought to the facility every day. As much as his production will be missed, the one thing that I can't articulate because it's simply impossible is how much the void will be felt in the organization without him upholding the standard that was uniquely Aaron Donald.
JB Long, the voice of the Rams, is our guest. JB, I was thinking about Kobe Turner today, and I thought, okay, Kobe got to play next to Aaron, and hopefully some of Aaron's tricks rubbed off on him. But it's going to be harder for him now, right? He had 9 sacks as a rookie, but I would imagine some of those sacks were a byproduct of the other offensive line double and triple teaming Aaron. He's going to have to adjust, right?
No doubt. I mean, as much money as Aaron made playing the sport, and he deserves every penny, he made a lot of other people a lot of money too, right? Whether it's like a Dante Fowler or Von Miller at the end of his career. Like, he definitely had the Aaron Donald bump on a lot of other really great players. Leonard Floyd is another one that comes to mind. But part of the reason I mentioned those 2 additional years beyond the Super Bowl season, John, is because tough as 22 was, people have told me on numerous occasions that 2023 is their favorite Rams non-championship season. And so there's an institutional knowledge that was passed, I believe, that torch to Kobe and to so many others. Like, Puka Nacua gets to say he played with Aaron Donald.
Sure.
Right? Like, Byron Young gets to say he watched Aaron Donald model the way. And the only memory that I hold more dearly than Aaron holding up his hand and pointing to his ring finger and saying, "Ring me," after beating the Bengals, the only one that even comes close is last year when he and Kobe Turner combined for a safety at SoFi Stadium, and they skipped off the field arm in arm like 7-year-olds. And it was so iconic and so meaningful for me because the joy with which Aaron was still playing, having accomplished everything that this game could possibly challenge him with, and the fact that he was doing it with someone, 10 years his younger, who would eventually try and replicate what he's done for this franchise, that says it all for me. And that was the joy of the overachievement and this rookie class of 2023 is those 14 draft picks got to spend a year with Aaron Donald.
JB, you mentioned some of the other things that he's interested in off the field and things that he might do afterwards. Do you have any sense of what we hear from Aaron Donald? Does he and coaching the young players this last year? Do you see him going into coaching? Do you see him taking a break? Do you see him doing something completely different outside of football?
Other than in continuing to invest in diamonds and amazing jewelry and his family, I don't think I would go much beyond that at this moment in time. Like, I think his approach to this says a lot. It speaks volumes with how little he said, right?
Yeah.
He could have done this in so many different ways. It was essentially a Friday morning news dump after the big wave of the NFL free agency and offseason began. And he just does it in such a subtle, uniquely Aaron way. Aaron was the only person who could stop Aaron, and I believe that will continue in many walks of his life. He's got a unique gift with children. He's an amazing camp counselor. I don't know that he ever needs to coach, but his foundation, what he and Erica and those that they love have done already is impactful. And whether it's here in Los Angeles or Pittsburgh or whatever city and community they choose to pour into the rest of the way, his legacy in Los Angeles is both immediate because of what we just talked about with his teammates and indefinite. I really believe that. I hope he's around for many, many years and many occasions to come.
JB, this was great. I mean, I've told JB off the air, and I've said it on the air. I'm like the world's biggest JB Long fan. And one thing that I really hope you cherish is that you are the soundtrack of the biggest plays of his career. And you should be really honored by that because it like when I got to call Kobe's last game and now I'm getting to call LeBron.
Yeah.
It's like, and JB mentioned his kids are 7 and 4. Like to kids growing up, JB, you're going to be the voice in their head and you deserve that. And you articulated perfectly what he meant to the franchise. So thank you very much for doing this today.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And when you won that nice award for your call of LeBron, breaking the scoring record, which you really deserved, I was thinking about this moment and what was to come and how true that is. But today, and no point of the last 8 years or anything about me, it's solely about Aaron Donald being his best when his best was required. And just to be able to go along for that ride was the real privilege, as I know you feel with Kobe and LeBron and so many others you've covered.
Yeah, well said, my friend. All right, have a great weekend. Thank you for doing this. I'll see you again soon.
Great rest of your show and Friday night to come.
Yep.
Thanks,
See
JB.
ya. There's JB Long. And coming up next, we'll touch on the Lakers. We haven't done a lot of Lakers stuff. And a reminder that in 17 minutes, Greg, this is the final Fifth Row Friday, right? Okay.
Yes.
Final Fifth Row Friday of this season.
The best thing we give away at this station.
I agree. I love it. I'm one of my favorite things to do is meet the Fifth Row Friday winners because they're so happy and so appreciative. And when they actually win, they don't realize, but when they get to the game and they're in the fifth row, they go, "Oh my God,
yeah,
this is." I can hear the players. I can hear them swearing at each other.
Yeah,
and it's super cool. And we're gonna give those away in about 15 minutes at 3:30. Momo and for Mace, I'm John Ireland, Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
And in Momo, your Friday afternoon on 710.
All right, Mason and Ireland, Momo in for Mace. We're going to do Fifth Row Friday giveaway in 10 minutes. Our most recent one. Okay, Momo, we haven't talked a lot about the Lakers, but...
Sad song. Sorry. He's playing my jams.
That's okay. I keep getting drawn in here.
Okay.
Last night, Phoenix loses.
I know.
Dallas loses. The Lakers are 2 games out of the 8, 2.5 out of the 7th, 3 games out of the 6, with 15 games left. They play the Warriors tomorrow night. They're 1 game ahead of the Warriors. I'm a shameless Laker apologist and root for them. You're more objective. When all is said and done, when these 15 games are over, by the way, less than a month to go in the regular season, where are the Lakers landing?
Best case scenario, 8. Worst case scenario, 10.
You don't think they can get to the 7?
I don't think so.
Phoenix, I think, is going to back up. They have a really, really hard schedule.
Tough schedule, but they've been playing better. They are all 3 healthy. And, like, Katie's been on one. They just lost to the Celtics because that's a hard schedule. But, they can't beat the Kings. They can't.
They don't have to play them anymore.
I know. But, like... They have to beat the Warriors tomorrow, and it looks like Steph Curry's going to play, right?
Right.
He's practicing
Draymond
today.
too. Draymond missed the last game. Looks like he's going to play.
So it feels like the Warriors are a formidable opponent. Dallas, I saw, just gave Oklahoma City a really good game, even though they lost. I think they could pass up Dallas. I think they could get into that 7 spot. You know, they could get into that 8 or the 8 spot. 7 feels like a lot because if Phoenix falls back. Because the Kings pass them, I guess I could see how this can end. But they have to be on one. Like, you want to hit the playoffs on a run.
Right.
You want to hit the playoffs playing your best basketball. And I every time you think they're going to win 3 or 4 in a row, they just have a stupid one.
All right. In your opinion, if they finish 9th or 10th, right now they're 9th, is the season over?
Probably. If they finish 8th, I'll give them a chance. Because they just have to.
Then they could beat the 7 and get the 7.
And get in. And I don't think
probably play at Dallas if that happens.
Play at Dallas. Like I wouldn't count against them in that game.
LeBron's unbelievable in elimination games.
I know, and I wouldn't count against them in a game against the Warriors. They did it 2 years ago. They beat the Warriors in the first ever play-in game, the 7-8 game, and they won that one. But it's hard to, like, if they're the 9, at least you get the first one at home, and then you got to go on the road. That's not as bad.
But the best you can do there is get the 8, and then you could run into Denver. I mean, if you're a Laker fan, you're probably rooting for Oklahoma City to get the 1, right?
Yeah, you're probably rooting for Oklahoma City because that's a better matchup. But I just think, like, last year, everything broke perfectly for them.
Right. They drew Memphis, who had a ton of injuries. Then they drew Golden State, who was too small.
And they were tired from the 7 game against the Kings. I mean, I think things broke really well for them last year. This year, it's hard to imagine things would break as well. But I'm still one of these people that's like, I still think the Lakers can beat any team on any given night.
Well, they've proven that.
They've proven that. I mean, they just beat the Bucks the other day here at home.
Right.
Bucks they're on a great run there. I mean, I thought they hung with the Celtics. I wouldn't count even the Denver game. Yeah, they lose to Denver, but it's always close. The competitive sweep, right?
Yeah.
Like it really was.
If they finish 9th or 10th and they go out, what's the fallout?
I think there's quite a bit of fallout. I think I would keep Darvin Ham and his staff. I think they've done nothing but prove they can keep a group together under very difficult circumstances. I don't know who you're going to go out and get who's better than them. There's no giant names on the market that I would look after, although I just noticed Juwan Howard got fired, so he was...
Well, that was predictable. Michigan was terrible
8-24 this year, but that's always a name that you've heard with the Lakers.
Yeah, former teammate of LeBron, right?
LeBron and former college teammate of Rob Pelinka.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't keep changing coaches every couple of years. I think
Which they've been doing.
I mean, it was Vogel, and then it was,
Well, think about this. Since Phil Jackson left in 2011, it's been Mike Brown, Mike D'Antoni, Byron Scott, Luke Walton, Frank Vogel, Darvin Ham. I mean, every 2 years, and then that becomes your identity. Is that your coach is out of it.
That you have no
idea.
idea. And then how do you draft players for a coach if you're constantly changing systems and playing different ways? I think Darvin's done a really good job keeping this group together. I know the O'Shea Jacksons of the world don't understand his thing with Torian Prince, but but he did great coaching them back from the Westbrook scenario last year, get an in-season tournament win.
Yeah, I think people are forgetting because the Lakers have struggled against the likes of Sacramento and Denver. They're forgetting that it's right there for him. Darvin can win his way out of this.
Yeah.
He has 15 games left. If they were to go on some ridiculous run, by the way, those 15 games, 8 road, 7 home.
Okay,
so pretty much right down the middle.
There's a lot of winnable games there, right? Don't you go to Brooklyn and Toronto and games
and
you should win?
Washington.
Yeah.
So if they were to go on a run, let's say they finish 12-3 or 11-4, they could end up in the 7 like they were last year. They could draw Oklahoma City in the first round, but they have to win.
Yeah.
So I keep falling for this thing where, Dallas lost last night. Phoenix
Everybody
lost
keeps
last
losing,
night.
yeah.
It's all set up for us. Yeah, but Ireland, you got to remember you have to win.
Yeah.
And they've been winning, except that what's killed them, is they've had 4 games in the last 3 weeks against teams that they're chasing. They lost at Phoenix. They lost at Golden State. They lost to Sacramento at home. They lost to Sacramento on the road. If they go 2-2 in those games, they're fine. So they just need to start winning.
You know when you play in your fantasy league or whatever, like football league, head-to-head, or a rotisserie league, and you get to the end of the season and it comes down, like you miss the playoffs by literally like one game in one category. And like you look back on all of those weeks where you lost by like one block or one steal, and you're like, it's amazing. And it always comes down to that. It's like playoffs. They always come down to like one stupid play at the end of a game where you couldn't beat the Suns.
Like the Warriors lost a game last week at home to the Spurs without Wemby. If they finish one game behind the Lakers, that's the game that's just going to kill them.
And there's so many of those for the Lakers this year. And yet I still think their record's pretty good. It's a testament to the Western Conference that one of these pretty good teams is going to miss the playoffs entirely.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's the Lakers or Warriors, they just miss it after one game. I think most likely because no one
Maybe both of them.
Yeah, maybe both.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. All right, coming up next, Fifth Row Friday. Now, before we open the phones, if you have not been listening all week, don't call because you won't win. The questions are too hard.
Yeah.
But if you are a regular listener and you listen every day and you've been paying attention and you think you can correctly answer 5 questions, one from Monday, one from Tuesday, one from Wednesday, one from Thursday, one from Friday, now is the time to call. 877-710-ESPN. 877-710-3776. We will give away Fifth Row Friday Lakers tickets to somebody for the Monday night game against Atlanta. It's next. Momo in for Mace. I'm John Ireland, ESPN LA.
The Black and
All right, Fifth Row Friday time. This is my favorite thing that we give away. We are sponsored by BBGO. Fifth Row Friday is put on by the fine folks at BBGO, the official game day snack of the Lakers. If you answer these 5 questions that Ramona and I are about to ask correctly, you get all 5 right, you win the Fifth Row Friday tickets. Now, I've always said, Momo, that I would want to go first to see if I could run the table. Others say they would want to wait until they go later.
Yeah,
because
second or third usually.
Because other people reveal some good answers.
Right.
But let's find out what we have in store today. 5 questions to win the final Fifth Row Friday of the year. We did this all throughout the Lakers season. Regular season's winding down. This is the last one. Hopefully we'll do it again next year. But for this season, this is the final Fifth Row Friday. And we're going to start with Eric in Palmdale. Eric, are you ready?
Let's go, 661.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, here we go. Momo, hit him.
Hey, what famous actor did Pepe impersonate on Monday's show?
What famous actor did Pepe impersonate?
On Monday's show, right.
On Monday's show, yeah.
3, 2.
Just take a guess.
1.
It was some old-timey one.
All right, sorry, Eric. Good try.
It's all right.
Also, if
All
you're
right.
on your speakerphone, get off your speakerphone and put the phone to your ear.
Yeah, because
Thank
I
you.
tell you, I'm yelling at you at this point.
Listen to Laura, would you please? All right, Sonny in Santa Clarita. Hi, Sonny. You're on ESPN LA.
Hey, what's going on?
All right,
You
Sonny.
ready? You
Here
ready?
we go.
What famous actor did Pepe impersonate on Monday's show?
Was it Al Pacino?
Yes.
Boom.
Way to go, Sonny. All right, here's question 2.
All right.
Momo mentioned she had a great time in New York. Why did she say why she had a great time in New York?
Oh, she was getting it in with the sailors at Fleet Week.
Oh, 2 for 2.
That's right.
All right, Sonny.
You're up now, Sonny.
All right, Sonny. 3 more and you win. Here we go.
Okay. Who did DeMarco Farr disrespect during Rams training camp? This is from Wednesday.
I remember this.
On Wednesday.
You got a guess, Sonny?
I'll just take a shot. Aaron Donald.
Good try, though. Good try.
Okay. Here's Julio in Lancaster. Julio, you ready to play?
Let's go.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Okay. What famous actor did Pepe impersonate?
Al Pacino.
Very good.
Momo mentioned she had a great time in New York. Tell us why.
Because of Fleet Week.
There you go.
There you go. All right, keep it going, Julio.
Who did DeMarco Farr disrespect during Rams training camp?
Was it Rob Johnson?
Very good.
Okay, Julio. Here
All
we go.
right.
You're very close. 2 more and you win it. On Thursday, yesterday's show, I mentioned then I went on a trip and visited a bunch of major league ballparks during my sophomore year of college. How many ballparks did I visit?
You visited 17.
Boom!
Nice.
Okay. Julio.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Uno más. Uno más.
Okay.
Let's
Come
go.
on, Julio.
Okay.
Bring
This
it
one's
home.
hard. This one's hard.
Okay,
I don't
Julio,
know.
listen.
I don't know if it's
I think he's going to get it. I think he's
Okay,
going to get
let's
it. Here we
go,
go,
Julio.
Julio.
What did Johnny Buss spend $1,500 on as part of his presidential campaign?
Hairstyling.
Oh, nice job, buddy. The last one.
Nice
Good for
job.
Oh,
you they'd get
Julio,
that.
that's awesome.
Way to go.
Man, who are you going to Julio, who are you going to take with you?
Maybe my son.
Oh, that's great. Well, you get to go on Monday, and hey, they'll bring you by to say hi to Michael and I, but we can't wait to meet you. Thanks for being such a great
Yeah,
listener.
way to go.
And congratulations, Julio.
Thank you. Thank
All right.
you, everybody.
All right, Greg, line 3. That is great. I think he was the third guy, so your theory held true.
Most of I think in doing this or listening to it, I think it's very rare that the first person out of the gates gets all of them.
Right.
Like-
But the guy who won last time did.
Yeah, when I was here too, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, but I'm very happy he won. He sounded like a very loyal listener. Okay, so Game of Games is next. It is Laura's game today. Laura, did you prepare the game? Oh, she's talking on the phone.
No, I got you.
Okay,
What's up?
did you prepare the game yourself?
It is all me.
Oh, boy, it's a Laura game.
All right, yeah, like Greg punted his game the other day and
Absolutely.
let Lindsay do it, and it was like the worst game ever.
Really?
I chose a bad Lindsay game, which are not normal.
Lindsay
Usually
games
all of
are
her
usually
games are
pretty
really,
good.
really good.
Yeah, Greg,
I chose the wrong one.
Greg got busy and forgot.
You know what? Lindsay is my go-to when I have that happen. Like, you know what? I totally forgot. Or somebody asked me too late.
We instituted a new rule because of what happened that day.
What?
If your game sucks, if you mail in your game, we subtract a point from your win total.
Oh.
So you can't mail in your games anymore.
It was that bad of a game?
Well, even Greg would admit it was that bad of a game.
Oh, no, yeah, it was bad. I screwed it all up.
Yeah, and
I'm taking the L. That's totally fine.
And but
wait, is it worse than the worst of my games?
It was close.
It was close.
It was. He was doing an NBA mascot game, but he didn't think it out.
Oh yeah, okay.
So he would say like, between these two mascots, which one is the mascot in Denver? Is it Rocky the Lion or the Coyote?
Yeah, so it was like Clutch is a cartoon bear. What team is it for? And it was name is your buzzer. Nobody knew what it was. So then I had to start changing it into two different teams. I'd be like, is Clutch the cartoon bear from Indiana or Houston?
Yeah, and
it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
It was very painful. But now, but I'm confident Laura has put some time into this game, and it will hold up. Coming up next, Game of Games, Momo in for Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
This season. Take it away, Mace.
Focus. All right, focus.
Jeez, you just come right out of the gates with that, man.
No Mace
Balls
today.
blazing.
Momo in for Mace. We got 4 players: Brian, Greg, Ramona, and me. Laura Romo's game. Laura, what do you got?
All right. Well, St. Patty's is on Sunday, so of course, St. Patty's game.
Okay.
You know, a little bit of everything. So yeah, it's gonna be multiple choice. I have only 2 buzz in, but those are super easy, so you guys don't have to worry about that. So let's start with this one.
Who's playing with us? Anyone from the afternoon show?
No, just
Not
these.
just
We
us.
got 4
All right,
players.
let's do it. We have enough. We have enough.
Are these? Is this multiple choice?
These
the
are
first one?
yes. All of I will tell you when it's buzzing, but
Got
it's
it.
not multiple choice.
Got it.
Momo.
No,
Okay.
not yet, Momo. Not yet. A little quick. To celebrate.
Focus.
To celebrate St. Patty's
Focus
Day
Friday.
in Ireland, Dublin hosts a huge festival that lasts how many days? Is it A, 7, B, 5, or C, 4? And we'll start with Momo since she's so eager.
7.
Okay. Ireland.
I'm gonna do 4.
Okay.
I mean, you are from Ireland.
Yeah, but I've never been there for St. Patrick's
You
Day.
just should know this.
Brian.
I'm gonna go 4 too.
Greg.
7 to get your liver ready.
Whoa. Okay. Nah, it's actually 4. You should have
there
won the
it
board.
is. Ireland knows the Irish
Brian
question.
and John are on the board.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Green hasn't always been associated with St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
It was originally this color. Is it A, red, B, blue, or C, silver? And we'll start with Ireland.
Red, blue, or silver? I just think silver's a weird choice, so I'll say silver.
Yeah, I'm going silver here as well.
Greg?
Yeah, it's too out there. I'll go silver.
Momo?
Silver.
Nobody got it. It was blue.
Really? Oh, okay.
We overthought it.
Yeah, you guys definitely overthought it.
Yeah, okay.
All right. What nationality was St. Patrick? Is it A, Irish, B, Scottish, or C, British?
Brian?
I feel like this is a trick question, but I'm gonna go Irish.
Greg?
I'm gonna go British.
Ramona?
Scottish.
I'm with Momo. I think it's Scottish.
Ding, ding, ding. It is Scottish.
Yeah.
I'm not good at this game.
All right. Greg, you're the only one with no points.
Yes, I am.
Okay, here
All
we
right,
go.
this one's easy, Greg. This one's easy.
Is this Pepe easy?
I think so.
Pepe, you're not even sure if it's
Multiple
true.
choice?
It is all multiple choice, yes.
Okay.
What does a person need to do to make the leprechaun come to life in the movie Leprechaun?
Oh, I don't
Is
remember.
it A, take off his necklace? Oh, when he's stoned, sorry. Take off his necklace. B, take off his shoes. Or C, take off his hat.
Greg?
The hat.
Okay.
Momo?
Shoes.
I'm with Greg. I think it's a hat. Why am I going with Greg? He has no
Yeah,
points.
I know he has
Bad
no
idea
point.
on your side.
Brian?
I'm gonna go shoes too.
Oh my God, Brian, it was right there for you. Necklace.
Damn.
Oh,
It was the
nobody got it.
necklace.
I never
Nobody
saw
got
that
it.
Me
movie.
neither.
All right.
Still with
this is
0?
0, yeah. Go for the Romo at this
I need
point.
to.
Focus. Focus.
All right. In which direction is the arc of a rainbow always seen? Is it A, towards the sun, B, away from the sun, or C, there's actual no direction?
Momo?
Away from the sun.
Away from the sun, okay.
How do you even tell?
Yeah, I'm going no direction. Brian?
Yeah, I'm going no direction.
There
too.
is actual.
Greg.
Oh, sorry. Greg, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you might get one,
starting-
Greg.
You might get
I think
sorry.
there's no direction.
All right. Well, you should have not gone that way. There is. It's towards the sun.
Oh,
So no one got it
No one
again.
got it.
Depends on your point of view. If you're looking away from
Listen,
it.
I Googled all of this individually,
Okay,
too,
sounds
okay?
right.
Okay,
Okay.
Pepe.
So relax. Calmate, okay, boss? Calmate. All right, here we go. Another one. Multiple choice. What did St. Patrick believe a shamrock represented? Is it A, good fortune, B, good luck, or C, the Holy Trinity?
Again, I think the Holy Trinity is too weird to just make up, so I'll say that one. Brian?
Good luck.
Greg?
Good fortune.
Ramona?
Good luck.
Only Ireland got it. The Holy Trinity.
Why would she make up a
Yeah,
Holy
why would I
Trinity
make that up?
answer?
Well,
I mean, yeah,
she
it's
made
like-
up
it's like a
silver
Catholic
earlier.
Yeah.
That means I
No,
put
silver
thought into
was
this.
the right answer.
No,
No,
silver
silver
was
was
not
the
the right
wrong.
answer.
Oh, no, you're
It was
right.
blue.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
good
blue.
point. Okay.
I put thought into this, okay?
I can tell.
According to the myth, the best time to sneak up on a leprechaun is when he's A, mending his shoes, B, taking a nap, or C, counting his gold.
Oh, this is hard.
This is hard.
Brian?
Mending his shoes.
Greg?
Taking a nap.
Momo?
Counting is gold.
I'll go with Momo. Counting is gold.
All right, mending his shoes it is. That was Brian.
So,
He's
Brian, you
asleep.
got that one
How are
right.
you going to do anything? He's asleep. He can't do anything.
Says the best time according to myth, Greg, okay? Relax.
Hey, embrace the myth.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Ireland 3, Brian 2, Ramona 1, Greg Bupkis.
All right, I'm going to give you guys the easy
start
ones,
complaining
okay?
at
I'm
once.
going to do the name is your buzzer.
Okay.
People traditionally wear green on St. Patrick's Day to avoid what?
John.
John.
Being pinched.
Greg.
Yep. No, he already got it.
I wouldn't have known anyway.
Really?
I actually, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
I don't know. People just wear green.
What? No, this is to get pinched. Okay, here's another name is your
Okay.
buzzard, all right?
Okay.
Which U.S. city dies
John.
its-
Momo.
Oh.
John.
New York.
No.
Greg.
Momo.
Momo was next.
Boston.
Nope. Greg.
Chicago.
Chicago.
I got a point!
Yeah, they dye the river green. Chicago.
Oh,
They're
I
really
know
known
that's
for
what
that.
you were asking.
I know, but we had to go so
I
fast.
thought you was saying what was the biggest St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
All right, this is one of my favorite Disney Channel movies.
Okay.
The Luck of the Irish.
Never
What
seen
is-
it.
Me either. And I'm Irish.
What is the main character's name? Is it A, Kyle Robertson, B, Kyle Johnson, or C, Kyle O'Malley?
I'm just going to guess Kyle O'Malley, even though I think you made it up. Brian.
I think it is O'Malley.
Greg.
I mean, it has to be O'Malley, right?
Momo.
Kyle Robertson.
God, Kyle Johnson.
Oh, we all missed it again.
How many are left?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Am
Four
I,
left.
Am I out
4,
yet?
5,
you're not.
6.
No, let's do 4 more.
All right,
okay?
here's
What's the-
another
what's
one.
the score?
That keeps you in it, Greg.
Okay.
I have 4, you have 1.
I have 6. I have 6
I have
left
at
in the
least two.
tiebreaker.
Okay, we're going to do
All
four
right,
more.
all right.
4 more in the
All right,
tiebreaker. Here we
here's
go.
another Leprechaun film one.
Okay.
What is the only Leprechaun film to take place on St. Patrick's Day? Is it A, Leprechaun 1, B, Leprechaun 2, or C, Leprechaun 3?
Totally guessing here. I'll go Leprechaun 1.
Oh, man, that's why I
Brian.
I'm going Leprechaun 3.
Greg.
I want Leprechaun 2.
Momo.
Leprechaun 3.
And Greg, you got
Hey, I'm
one!
alive! I'm alive!
All right, 3 more.
Maybe I made these too hard. I thought this was super easy.
No, you did a good job.
All right.
No, I like this game.
Okay.
Which color appears at the outer edge of a rainbow? Is it A, violet, B, blue, or C, yellow?
The outer edge of a rainbow.
Outer edge of a rainbow. Well,
All right. I'm going to say violet. Brian.
I'm going to go blue.
Greg.
so it's blue, violet, and
Or yellow.
Or yellow. Man, because it's violet, but I'm going to say yellow just for fun.
Momo.
I think it's violet.
It is violet.
It is violet.
Okay,
Roy
so-
G. Biv, come on now.
Yeah,
You should
Greg.
have gotten it. Yeah.
Well, no, but I had to go opposite.
Yeah, Greg's out.
Oh, yeah. Bye,
All right.
Greg.
2 more.
Bye.
What's the scores? What's the
Oh,
scores?
it's over. I got 5 and they both have 2. All right,
I
you
have
wanna
more
do,
than 2.
You want to do the tie?
Do I have 3? No.
I had 3.
No,
Dang.
you had 2. That's why you're out.
1, 2.
Yeah.
I got more
Just do
than
the
that.
tiebreaker for fun, Laura.
All right. Tiebreaker. Where is it? Over here. How many pints of Guinness beer are consumed worldwide on St. Patrick's Day?
Oh, my gosh.
Worldwide.
Worldwide, pints of Guinness. I'm going to. Okay, everybody write something down.
Okay.
I care about these guesses, by the way.
I made
Either
this
go
too
way too
hard.
high
I'm
or
sorry,
way too
guys.
low.
I thought it was.
I'm going to say.
I'm going to
okay.
say 8 billion.
All right, you said Greg. You said 8 billion.
8 billion.
Momo, what do you say?
I'll say 1 billion.
Brian.
1 million.
I had 221 million.
Lord Jesus, 13 million.
Yeah, see, I go way too high or way too low.
Wait, so Brian got
Yep,
it.
1
The
million.
1 million
Yeah.
was the closest.
So John gets it, right? You won, right?
Yeah, I won it.
John,
I mean, you really should
now
win
have
the
the
Ireland
lead
game.
for the month.
I do, but I'm leaving for all the good
Can I-
double up at the end of the month.
Can I give you guys this one because I forgot it and I thought it was really good?
Yeah, for sure.
What was St. Patrick's given birth name? Is it A, Henry O'Malley, B, Patrick O'Malley, or C, Maywin Suckett?
Well, no way you're making up May 1
There's no way you're making a May
I just wanted to say that
He
name.
was
Maywin
adding a- so I
Suckett.
think
No,
it's
it's
May
May
1
1 Suck It, right?
Maywin Suckett. Yeah, I wanted to say the name. I knew that one was
O'Malley, suck it.
Yeah, there's no way she's going with May 1 Suck
I just
It
wanted to say
if
it
that's
because I
not
knew
the
it was easy.
answer.
Yeah.
Hey, focus.
Focus. Were you listening the day he did that? All right, so play.
Oh my
okay,
God, it
nobody
was
talk.
so
Play it
funny.
again, Brian. Focus. We were 100%. We were 100% convinced he had told us to F off.
Yeah, I was too. The
We
first
thought
time
he
I
got
heard you guys
mad,
say it.
and we've all, Michael and I were sitting next to each other, and we turned and we went, "What did you say?" And he goes, "Focus." And I go, "He's saying focus." I did.
We have a new problem. There's a new potpourri of lies. Multiple people. St. Patrick was born in Britain.
No.
St. Patrick was British,
No.
not Scottish.
No. I actually Googled it because the first one that, hold up.
It says it right there.
No.
Let her state her case.
So when I initially Googled it, it did say that. And then I went back and said, is he British or Scottish? And then it gives you Scottish.
All right.
St. Patrick was born in Britain to a family of Roman descent. At 16, he was kidnapped from his
Whatever,
family
Greg.
villa
I
by
Googled
Irish
this.
raiders and sold into slavery
I Googled
around
this.
the beginning.
Did
of
you
the-
say Raiders? Raiders.
I Googled it.
All right.
You
I
lie.
know.
I
I'm
put a lot
Googling,
of thought into this.
Is St. Patrick British or Scottish?
I should have went with the Jameson.
St. Patrick was born May 1 Sucket in Kilpatrick, Scotland. In
Boom,
385.
baby. You should take a point away from Greg for questioning
The
me.
game's over and I lost.
Yeah.
No, but from his winning.
He doesn't
St.
have
Patrick
any
was
winnings
actually
this
born
one.
in Roman
Then he's
Britain.
-1.
No, Greg, I'm reading it right now. It says
Yeah, it
the
is.
history of St. Patrick. St. Patrick was born May 1 Sucket around 385 in Kilpatrick, Scotland.
But if
at
you
the
look at
age
his-
of 14, he was captured during a raid of his hometown and taken to Ireland to work as a slave herding sheep.
St. Patrick was a 5th century Romano-British Christian missionary and bishop in Ireland.
Is his name
He was born
something
in Roman
Sucket?
Britain.
Is
Yeah,
his
but-
name Sucket?
May 1 Sucket.
Could be a
was-
different St. Patrick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
true.
different.
It could be anyone.
That's not my problem.
Brian, hit the super stager.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason in Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, George Sedano, Scott Kaplan, both out of the studio today, but with us.
Greg, even if he was born in quote-unquote Britain, it's the United Kingdom. So Ireland is part of the United Kingdom.
I'm just reading what's in front of me.
I'm just telling you,
You're
though,
wrong,
that
bro.
the United Kingdom, Ireland is part of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, sure. I even said like 2 minutes
So
before, I'm going to start
anyone
complaining
who's
if they
Irish
lose
technically would be part of Britain at that time.
Oh,
But he was born in Kilpatrick, Scotland.
I don't think
Right, but even and I believe you. But what I'm saying, even if Greg was trying to make the case that he was born in Britain, that was part of the United Kingdom. Ireland was part of it.
I don't think you heard
Suck
me
it,
say
Greg,
2 minutes
suck
before
it,
that I'm going to
suck
start
it.
complaining to lose points.
May 1, suck it.
Exactly.
Cappy, out there?
I'm here, but if nobody does woo, 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 then I
Greg
don't
did
do
it.
love
There it is. My day's not
There you
complete
go.
until I hear that.
There you go. All right, so Cap, start with you. Surprised when Aaron Donald retired this morning or not so much?
Yeah, I guess I was shocked. I guess the Rams weren't.
Yeah, Sedano, what'd you think? Surprised? I was
Same.
surprised.
I was mildly surprised. I mean, he's hinted at it a couple of times already, so there was that. But clearly, the Rams knew, to Cappy's point, because their video came out like within minutes of his.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was like, I thought to myself a million times, like, why would you do this? Because I feel like we're so accustomed to guys not giving up money.
Right.
You know, and the more and more I thought about it, you know, Aaron Donald might be the single greatest, most decorated defensive lineman, certainly, maybe player, maybe defensive player, in the history of football. And I say football, I don't mean NFL. I mean football.
Would you put him ahead of Lawrence Taylor? Lawrence Taylor won an MVP.
Reggie White, right?
Yeah. When I say most decorated, though, I'm just talking about, like, the whole thing from college to now. He won every collegiate defensive MVP award, you know, from the Outland Trophy to, I want to say, like the Nagurski Trophy to the Nitschke Butkus. Every single defensive trophy there was to win, he won. And then, you know, he's an 8-time All-Pro. And the only 2 seasons he wasn't All-Pro was his rookie season when he was Rookie of the Year, and then the year after they won the Super Bowl where they shut him down for like the last 6 games. So, yeah, I mean, for me, yes. I mean, Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White, yeah, I'll put him ahead of those guys.
Well, I think that's the list, right, George? Those 3 dudes?
As far as D linemen, yes, there's no question.
Do you feel like he popped as a figure in the NFL? Like, I mean, everybody just knows he's really good, but if you were walking down the street, would he draw a crowd?
No.
No, matter of fact, Michael said he ran into him in the airport in the Bahamas, and nobody knew who he was.
Huh.
Right.
So he can still have – football players can do that because they wear helmets. They can still have their anonymity unless you're a quarterback.
That's not his thing. Like
Right.
Lawrence Taylor, you'd recognize him walking down the street.
Well, but I mean, like
Strahan, you know him.
Yeah, but he that's true. But Aaron Donald is like 5'10".
He's 6'1". That's it.
Listed.
Yeah.
Listed 6'1". So I mean, he's very average looking. Now, don't get me wrong, he's thick and he's wide, but if he stops training the way he's trained to get his body the way it is, he might be 210 pounds.
Wow.
I mean, he's a monster, but he's not tall, number one. And your question about does he pop, put it this way. Michael Strahan becomes, a talk show host to the likes of, Good Morning America. J.J. Watt retires, and he's immediately being recruited by every network. Aaron Donald, to me, doesn't have the desire or the popping personality to want to do that.
And I think he's made so much money he doesn't need to do it, which I think would be, part of this too, is that guys now make so much that he could just ride off into the sunset, and if he never wanted to be in the public eye again, he wouldn't have to be.
I think also because his career was so short, it will actually pop more. Like, it will actually be remembered like in a much more legendary way because he played such a short amount of time.
Is he the most famous Pitt football graduate, Cappy? Probably not. Probably Tony Dorsett,
Dan Marino
right?
or Tony Dorsett.
Dorsett, Marino. Yeah, I mean, there's other guys that are definitely more famous, but I don't know that anybody's ever been better.
Yeah, he leaves an indelible history, and I don't know how the Rams. You can't replace him.
No replacing him.
And Cappy left him with a great gift from 710 ESPN. He has an autographed picture of Cappy.
Oh, wow.
Cap, what was the circumstances under which you gave him that?
The circumstances were these. George and I were broadcasting from Rams training camp last summer, and I thought that it would be a lovely gift for a young fella. So we pulled up on him, and we had some 8x10 glossies made, and there's a picture of me and AD after a game. The Rams had played the Bills in the Coliseum, and after the game, we took a photo together. And I just thought that, he might want to add it to his collection of things in his office. So I showed up on him, and I autographed it for him right there. Like, here you go, kid. And I handed it to him, and he's probably got it in a frame. And if I had to guess, it's probably right by his bed.
Of course. And why is that picture not up in the hallways of ESPN LA?
Seriously?
Great question. Probably because I'm wearing a CBS jacket at the time.
There you go. There you go.
We can Photoshop that.
Yeah,
easily.
Exactly. So Sedano, everything that they draw me back in every night. Phoenix lost last night. Dallas lost last night. It's right there for the Lakers to move up. Only problem is they have
to laugh.
They have to win.
That was me.
Am I banking on false hope again?
Look, I think after a certain point, you've played 67 games.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They
are what they are. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Bears are who we thought they were.
I mean, could they look? They're only 3 games out, but 3 games. We talked about this yesterday. There's a lot of teams ahead of you that have to collapse here a little bit over the last 15 for you to overcome a 3-game lead. You know what I mean? So, and by the way, it's not even 3; it's 4 if it's Sacramento because they've won the season series. So you got to come back 4 games back with 15 to go. Not easy.
I'm beginning to start to get my head around that they could be in the 9-10 play-in game.
I never thought they would end up there, but it feels like it.
I was the same as you. I thought, they're not. They'll move up. They'll figure it out. Now it's, I think, a real possibility. I need to accept that.
Yeah.
And, it's not too late for them to move up and get out of it. But, George, if you had to bet on it, wouldn't you say that's where they're heading for the 9-10 game?
Yes, I would bet on that. Maybe the 8,
maybe.
but I doubt it. I doubt.
The 8 is so much better than the 9. It's just
especially if Denver gets the 1.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody's beating Denver anyway. But you don't.
Well, Denver's
going to
be the one. It's you and I talked about this yesterday, John. Where Denver's got the easiest schedule remaining in the Western Conference. So they're going to be the 1 seed.
If they want the 1, they're probably going to get it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think the MVP race is just Jokic, and it's his for the taking.
Yeah.
But the only guy I think could close is Shea.
Yeah.
And if they come up and take the 1, then I think he's got a really good case. SGA.
Well, you and I saw each other. We're in Phoenix, right?
Yep.
Where we talked about that, and not saying that this is the right way to do it, but there is sometimes fatigue, right, when it comes to a guy winning multiple times.
Well, it's also that he didn't win last year. So Jokic didn't win last year because I think of that fatigue.
Right. So, but I still think if he wins a third, then it's 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
So it's still a pretty impressive precedent, isn't it?
Although, I mean, the only when Denver was sitting there at like 3rd or 4th, I was like, he probably will win, but I feel less strongly about he has to win if they're 3rd or 4th. But if they
they're
win
the
West,
forget it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I brought this up with Sedano and Cap, Momo, but it's the first time I've seen you since you texted me about it.
Okay.
You experienced Kay in Phoenix.
Oh,
the old
my.
woman that sits right behind the radio broadcast position. If you guys don't know what we're
Oh, my
talking about,
God.
here's me and Michael calling a game, but don't listen to me. Listen to the background and the woman yelling behind me. Here it is. Here's Austin Reeves on the right side. Reeves dribbling, 15-footer, it's long, it's an air ball. Rebound grabbed by Bradley Beal. I have a feeling if Phoenix scores here, Michael Darvin will call timeout. Here is Eric Gordon, throws it away. All right, so she sits behind, and Mona, now that you've heard her, would it be inappropriate of me to ask the Suns, I don't think they'll move her because those are her seats, but to move me?
Yes. No, you should ask. It's I mean, when I sat there, I was like, I didn't go in thinking, I'm going to go listen for Kay. You just can't miss her.
Right. She sounds like the woman from Throw Mama from the Train.
Totally.
I could not hear her when I went the day before my last game. The day before I saw Ramona.
But no, remember George sits down low.
Oh, okay.
No. The game. I was there a day early to see the Amari Stoudemire entering their Ring of Honor.
Were you up where the radio
and
guys
I was
are?
up right next to their radios.
How did you not hear her?
Maybe
Could
she
not hear
wasn't
her.
there.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Maybe she wasn't, but
Like,
I did not hear her.
I just heard this woman's voice, and I go, oh, my God, that's got to be Kay.
Maybe Kay had bigger plans on a Saturday night.
Yeah, could be.
You know what they say? They say every kiss begins with K.
There you go.
Do say that, and that is something that could have stayed in your head.
So, Momo, you don't think it would be weird?
But yet it can't.
Hey, Momo, you don't think it'd be weird if I asked Stacy at the Suns to move us?
No,
because
you
of
could
Kay.
ask her.
But you could get worse. Could get worse spot.
I don't know how.
I'm just talking about like visually.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have to wait and see.
That's
Hey,
a good
Momo.
point. Yeah, what's up?
I have a question for you. When does your docu-series come out?
June 4th is going to be.
Oh,
on
so for
Hulu.
people who don't know what we're talking about, Ramona did this thing called the Sterling Affairs about Donald Sterling and the end of his ownership of the Clippers. It has been picked up by FX. It's going to run as a
6-episode series. Yeah.
Miniseries. What can you tell us about it?
So it's going to come out June 4th. The first 2 episodes drop on Hulu.
Okay.
So that's how
You've
you get
seen
it.
the first 2,
I've seen
right?
the first 2. I haven't seen the other.
You happy with them?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple things
Well, it's never going to be perfect.
Yeah, let's put it that there's no Jerry West really poor portrayals, whatever. There's no
Okay.
one can be, I think, mad at me.
And who plays Donald Sterling?
Ed O'Neill.
Okay, got it.
Al
Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Right,
He's
right, right.
great.
Polk High.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
The woman who plays V. Stivian is amazing. Her name is Cleopatra Coleman. She's going to steal the show.
Okay,
she's
good.
She's so good that you can't stop watching her. They wrote more scenes for her to be in because she's so good.
Did they just start making stuff up like I
yeah,
would
they were
have?
like, we need more. We
And
need more.
somebody good plays Shelley Sterling,
Yeah,
right?
Jackie Weaver.
Oh, Jackie Weaver's
I
great.
saw
in
Shelley
Silver
the
Lining.
other day. She
Yeah.
was at the Lakers Clippers.
She
game.
still goes, yeah.
Yeah.
She still has those
Clippers
seats.
#1 fan.
Yeah, #1. She has the center court seats, and so she's there. And then we have some fun cameos like Corbin Burnson from LA Law. He plays Shelley Sterling's attorney.
Okay.
Okay, stuff like that. Lawrence Fishburne plays Doc Rivers.
Oh, I love Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah. And he's good as Doc. Like he doesn't do the voice.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, I mean it'd be weird if you really.
It would be funny if he tried, though.
It's pretty hard to do this voice
Right.
for
Right,
an entire
right.
movie.
If he would have been talking like
And
this the
Doc
whole
is
time.
You guys know who can do it?
Who?
Jamie Foxx.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard
Oh,
Jamie
of course.
Foxx
Trust
do
me, we
Doc?
talked about it in casting. We
Yeah.
did.
He's like,
and it just we tried. We thought he would be amazing in that role. It's a different role, but Lawrence has the gravitas you need.
Sure.
Like in that role, you need somebody with gravitas. So I don't know. There's just like fun little cameos here and there for the actors. I
do you
will say
appear
this.
at any
Yes.
point? You
Yes.
do.
I have one cameo.
Do you have a speaking line?
No.
Okay.
My line got cut.
Are you a
I'm me.
reporter in
I'm
a
me.
press conference or
There's
something?
actually two parts where you see me. One is we kind of show social media scrolling, so they have like something that I tweeted, and you can see
Okay.
my picture.
Yeah.
Or Instagram or something.
Are there any other reporters besides you?
Bill
that have-
Plaschke.
Bill Plaschke has a cameo.
And he has
Ramona
a
tried to
line.
get me in as one of random reporters.
I gave
3, 4,
I
or
gave
5.
three
I
lines.
believe.
Okay, there was all these parts. They came to me. They go, "Hey, we need some reporters to be in the show for the press conference scene." So I
Right.
gave a list. I said, Jim Hill, Steve Mason, John Ireland, George Sedano, like all my people, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Cabby, I didn't put you on the list.
No, I don't get on the
think I even-
text. I mean, I don't get on the text.
I know.
So how would
but
I get on
think
the
it was
list?
before you. It predated you.
All right.
And I gave him a couple, names of recognizable L.A. and San Francisco
And
reporters.
instead, they went out and hired really hot girls.
No, the only person they called was Bill Plaschke.
Oh,
Brad
okay.
Turner. They called Brad Turner, and then they didn't end up using him.
Okay.
But I tried to get Mark Spears because he was a Bay Area guy, and Marcus Thompson, right? All the people who would have been at these press. And then the other one, they needed a paparazzi guy, so I just said, well, cast the guy who broke the story. This guy, Mike Walters. He's the guy from TMZ. Just cast him. And they did. And then there's they needed a news reporter, somebody who had some.
Mason is going to be very bitter that he was not chosen for this.
I didn't recommend him for this one. I picked this one is a personal one because she was good to me when I was an intern, and that's Beverly White from KNBC.
Oh, sure.
She used to take me out on ride-alongs when I was an
Okay.
intern there, and I felt like I gave him a list of a few different names, but I know Beverly covered this trial, so I go because they were going for Veritas, right? They're going for this is like real little authenticity bites, right? So Plaschke obviously would have been at a press conference with Doc Rivers, right?
Yep.
We actually had a scene, and Plaschke and I were in the trailers together and stuff. And he had a line. He had 2 lines, and I had 1. Oh, no, he had 2 lines, and I didn't have any. And Plaschke goes, wait a minute. I can't have 2 lines, and you have none. This is your thing, man. And it turned out that they didn't give me a line because they would have had to pay me or something.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
So
that's exactly what I was going to ask you.
that's what it was.
Outside of being the creator and the executive producer and whatever, were you going to get paid in another way?
No. So this was they were just saving a line item in
There
the
you
budget.
go.
So but then Plaschke was such a gentleman. He goes, I'm not doing it if they don't give you a line. So then they did it. So then they had to I go, well, I got a SAG-AFTRA card. I'm from the union member. They go, okay, all right, we'll do it. And so I got a day rate or whatever.
Wow.
But then they cut our line. They cut my line.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, Coach. Hey, Coach, what do you say to the people out there who say you have chemistry problems on this team?
Wait, you didn't do it like that, did you?
No, I'm just trying to remember it from a year and a half ago when we did this.
All right, because
It was
if
something
that was
like
the way
that.
you did it, I mean, come
It
on.
was much better. No, what was great is I was giving Lawrence Fishburne pointers on how would Doc Rivers do a press conference.
You're George Costanza giving directions on
he
the
literally
Seinfeld
was like,
set.
how did Doc handle the press? And I go, well, he would have definitely learned your name because that's how Doc would work a room. And then he's like very college football presidentially, like I'm loose and I'm, taking questions. And so he would say, hey, Bill, hey, Ramona, you know how Doc does that, right? So Lawrence nailed it. And then they changed the subject of the press conference. So Plaschke had to retrack his line. And then I'm just seeing smiling in the background.
There was that Seinfeld.
Momo, you got to
Johnny
get
I.
out of here.
Yeah,
You
I know.
gotta go see your dad.
I
All
got
right.
Shabbat, you guys.
Yeah.
I got
Oh, hey,
Shabbat.
Shabbat
All right,
Shalom,
Sedano
girl.
and
Shalom.
Cap
Yeah.